Happy New Year! Straight from our friend Dr. Venkman.
Oh, wait, we rolling now? Is that?
Oh, yeah, we sure are.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know it's a little weird, right? Because everybody's like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? 9,000 fucking times.
I know. It's very Phantom Zone-y, which makes me so comfortable.
Yeah, we're doing something different to all you dumpster dwellers that are listening to this episode. We're doing like an end-of-the-season wrap-up, which we didn't get a chance to do last year. We tossed around we had tossed around some ideas of what we wanted to do, and it became more extravagant than we had time for. And
I mean, Joe, don't lie to the people. We all know what happened. John Hurt came in the fucking room through a portal.
He sure did.
Grabbed you by your neck and just took you off somewhere. We don't know where, but you were gone for several weeks.
The thing is, I can't remember a goddamn thing.
You came back just in time for Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, there was money missing off the dresser. My daughter was knocked up. The whole thing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Is this Elves?
It could have been. It's a fucking Elfenhouten.
She was knocked out. She was sedated. I didn't enjoy it.
Don't ask me, ask John. He's the fucking nutcase.
Is John Hurt also a speedster? Have we established that too? Like he just
be.
grab you by the nape and throw you into the Speed Force for a couple months?
Sure. He's like Dr. Parnassus, dude. He's like fucking walking through different time zones and dimensions. Turns into fucking what the fuck's his name? Oh, man, I totally blanked.
Heath Ledger?
Yeah, he turns into Heath Ledger and then Johnny Depp and then all these different fucking people.
The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which is a movie that, like, I keep, like, every now and then I'm like, oh, there's that. Nah, next time.
Do yourself a favor. Just go watch The Man Who Killed Don Quixote instead. It's better. Terry Gilliam, everybody. Master Craftsman. That everybody else hates because he says stupid shit because he's old, but I love him.
Kind of like what Joe is saying. This is not your regular episode, as you may have been already able to tell. It's kind of like a look back at this season, and maybe a little bit of the first season, because like Joe said, we didn't get a chance to do that last year.
Sure.
Just a wee bit.
And maybe just some random thoughts about things that we will never do for the show. Maybe not, I wouldn't say never, but, more recent films that we've all watched and enjoyed this year.
You know, when I stopped to think about that, I was like, I have seen like 4 movies in theaters this year.
Man, I am ashamed at myself of how many newer films I've watched this year. It's a goddamn shame. I missed out on Midsommar. I still haven't seen that yet.
Oh, man.
I didn't see Dr. Sleep. I really wanted to go see that. But I did see a few. I saw Crawl, and I saw In Fabric, and I saw that Won't You Be My Neighbor. That was good.
Okay. Okay. Tom Hanks pulls it off?
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
Okay.
Tom Hanks added another one of the innocent childhood mentor Infinity Gems to his fucking gauntlet.
And it's just signed H.
Yeah.
And of course the Lighthouse too.
Oh, the Lighthouse is something I criminally missed, and I was so excited for it, and still haven't gotten to it yet.
I really wanted to see it. It was kind of hard to find a theater that was playing it, unfortunately, around me.
Yeah, I got to see that in the theater, and that was a treat for sure.
All the great shit I saw at home.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of the stuff I saw at home too, Connor, we did for the show that I actually.
Well, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that or it was on like one of the streaming services. Like I have I've had Shudder, and I just got the DC Universe app. Or like random ass hilarious discoveries on Tubi or whatever.
You know what I find funny about what you just said? Connor, you were like the one guy I know that is like that deep into DC Comics, and you just got that fucking app.
I thought for sure you'd have that sooner, right?
I'm surprised Arlen wasn't fucking emailing you constantly about it.
No, we all actually, us at Phantom Zone, were initially on board with it, and then they rolled out that Titans trailer, and as soon as Nightwing was like, fuck Batman, I was like, take this service and shove it up your fucking ass. I don't want it. Yeah, I was like, I hate this. Like, you're pushing your service with the most unlikable versions of these characters you could possibly come up with. And then they canceled Swamp Thing, and then the service just didn't turn out to be what it was supposed to be. Like, the movie library right now is really restricted. The animated stuff is like a gold mine, but it's certainly not what I expected to be, but now that I have it, it's fine.
They don't have the kind of money like Disney, who can just like, they already own all these fucking properties, so they can just go to Netflix and be like, all right, when your contract's up, we're taking that, and you're never getting it again.
Well, Warner Brothers likes to pretend they do, right?
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, like we've talked on this show, I mean, granted, we're not talking about movies or comics, but, you know, Mortal Kombat, just look at the DLC for those last couple games.
But yeah, I do want to check out that Swamp Thing show. I still didn't get a chance, so that's something I really want to see.
The show that was canceled over an extra zero.
I know, like
That hurts.
yeah.
It does. It really does.
I mean, Ray Wise was probably shedding a tear and he wasn't even in the fucking thing. Yeah, you know what I just watched, actually, speaking of stuff I saw recently, the Witcher series that just actually came out on Netflix as of this recording.
Man, that is fucking addictive.
I know you guys are really into that. Now, I've never played the games, but you both recommended them to me. But I do want to see the series.
Yeah, it's I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's basically like if you've played the games, obviously you kind of are already a baked-in fan. But I would almost argue, and I don't know if Connor, you could back me up on this or not, if you've never played the games or read any of the books from, I don't remember his name, it's a Polish author, I feel like you might actually enjoy it a little more. Because there's stuff that happens in the games that take place after the book series that they kind of like answer a lot of questions that the author never did.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a whole book series. It's like a series of short stories.
Interesting.
But watching it, you know, my girlfriend, she watched it with me, and she does, you know, she's watched me play The Witcher 3, but she's never, you know, played it or anything, and she really enjoyed it. And I was telling her, like, yeah, you know, there's things I know just because the games went and like answered a lot of these questions that the books apparently never do, just from a little research I did. And I just find that kind of interesting, sitting there thinking like, how the fuck does this character belong here? Because I never read the books. And then like thinking back on the games, like how do you get from point A to point B? So for me, that part was interesting. But I guess all I'll say is I would recommend that. And of course, you know, I haven't seen it myself, but speaking of Disney Plus, of course, The Mandalorian's been blowing up everywhere.
I've seen all of those. We just finished the season the other day. It's fucking great. Again, it's mixed with people. I thought it was great. It just feels good, right? Everybody's like, it's a Western, it's a whatever. I mean, I guess you can call it a Western, sure. It's more like, it almost feels like a buddy, like a on the road movie, right?
Yeah, The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda.
Yeah. It's not Yoda, but yeah.
Well, it's like, what is it, species or something, right?
It's a species, yeah.
Now, the Mandalorian, that was like a race in Star Wars, if I remember correctly.
It's not a race, dude. It's a religion.
Oh, really?
It's a culture.
Okay.
And they were essentially like once the Empire rose, the Empire fucked those people out of everything, including their pants.
Damn.
Like, it's just they were a culture who was completely decimated.
I guess that kind of sheds some more fucking light on Boba Fett being a total scumbag then.
Yeah.
I don't. I hate the whole Boba Fett thing. Like, I couldn't when they did that in fucking Attack of the Clones, I almost fucking blew my brains out because I was like, this is so fucking stupid. But I am of the school of thought that Boba Fett grew up, got his gear, and then was assassinated by somebody else, and they took his armor, and now he's running around, and now he's
Wait. So your headcanon is that the imposter Boba Fett got by just by standing in a room going, I'm Boba Fett, until he was stooged into a Sarlacc pit.
Well, yeah, but but let's pretend
Boba Fett's where?
Boba Fett, where? In the Sarlacc pit, that's where he is.
Still one of the all-time funniest scenes in a fucking movie ever. I'm just gonna put that out there.
It's fine. He gets fucking 86 in the dumbest way possible. But, like, let's not go so far as Return of the Jedi and just all of those adventures, or you know, bounty hunting sessions that he has, right?
Right, yeah.
Isn't actually the Boba Fett from Attack of the Clones. Like, it's just some other badass motherfucker that killed him and took his gear.
Okay.
And his ship. That's the way I like to look at it because, man, that's stupid. He's a clone. Great.
Yeah. Star Wars, everybody.
Hooray. I've only seen the first 2 episodes of Mandalorian. TV for me was nutty this year because all the shows that we talked about for Phantom Zone came back all at once, and then they all take their breaks the same time, and they all come back at the same time. And in between all that,
I'm not even on the show, and I'm starting to irk a little bit. I'm starting to throw up in my mouth.
It's too much for me, man. Fucking count me out.
Too much TV.
Dude, and here's the thing. We tried getting Legion, Preacher, and other stuff in there, and we're like, no, this is too much. And
I don't know how the fuck you guys do it. I gotta give you kudos. I can barely watch The Mandalorian. We would make time every week to watch it, and that's it.
We are experts in punishing ourselves our Justice League review had 7 people on it, and we somehow directed traffic on that.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you know what? It's got to help you if nothing else for this show. You know, we've done some really good movies, but we've done
some stinkers for sure.
Some punishing shit too.
Yeah, my absolute suffering, like I can take no more threshold has gone significantly up because like once you're just subjected to 3 bad seasons of TV all at once, you're like, it can't get any worse as far as consuming media goes.
You just hear the word Prancer and you just laugh.
Yeah. Is this all you got, you stupid reindeer?
You look at something that's supposed to be bad and you're like, you know what? Wasn't bad. Not bad.
Yeah. Wait until you've seen fucking House of the Dead or Mortal Kombat Annihilation, for God's sakes.
Exactly. Sit through those.
And then Troll 2 looks like a fucking, an Oscar-worthy fucking movie.
Yeah. I saw 2 really good horror films on Shudder. Actual, I guess 2.5. I'm not sure what to categorize Mandy as. But Mandy was awesome, and it's just like a fucking. It is an LSD trip that you'll be so glad you went on. There's a giant chainsaw duel in the middle of that movie. It's just weird and psychedelic from start to finish.
It's been 25 years since I picked one of these babies up.
Nick Cage says that right before he fucking takes that drug or whatever. Still haven't seen the movie.
Oh, he takes that drug and then has a hallucination that his face collapses and melts. It's fucking insane. And then I saw Beelzebub on Shudder, which is a really cool American and Spanish production that's got.
I heard about that.
That's got Tobin Bell and a couple of Spanish actors, and it's basically about like the second coming of Christ has been born, and like the forces of darkness are trying to find him in the most broad way possible by just possessing people and having him commit like mass acts of violence.
Huh. That doesn't sound very productive. Like that doesn't sound very poignant.
It feels like it's like, all right, we're desperate, blow up the hospital. Like
where is he? Oh shit.
But it's really, really good. It's really suspenseful. It's really freaky. And then a movie that me and Arlen will never shut up about is Terrified, that we saw on Shudder.
You were telling me about this, right? Is this the movie?
Yeah, okay. So this movie is Brazilian, I believe it is. South American.
Ooh.
And
okay.
It's like, I thought it was going to be a poltergeist movie going into it. It's really not, because it starts that way, but then it develops into this like this incident where in this small little block you have these like malicious entities are coming into our reality through like cracks in the wall, your fucking sink drain, your cabinets, like they're popping out of these spatial paradoxes, and as they're doing this, like there's poltergeist activity and the dead are coming back to life and there's just weird shit happening all over the place. And the movie basically pops you in this little like 1 block radius, and you get to experience this through the eyes of a bunch of like older, rational adults who are like, what the fuck is this?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's awesome. It's got some really good body horror, and it dabbles in that high strangeness kind of horror where, like, no one knows what's happening, so it's okay if you don't.
Gotcha.
Because you're not supposed to get it. But there's some really cool stuff. There's some great jump scares and some awesome, like I said, body horror and stuff. And some of the designs of the monsters are really cool. Like, at some point, someone closes their wardrobe, and then right behind him, this wardrobe's like, fits fucking clothing, like a whole body steps out of it.
That's pretty fucking sweet.
I'm into that.
Yeah, like there's whole arms coming out of small cracks, like people are being pulled into spaces they shouldn't fit.
Oh, so the Blob.
Yeah, like that scene from the sink scene, but way more elaborate.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah, no, Terrified was really good, and I put it on as background noise initially, and then was like, I turned around and was like, okay, this is really worth my time.
Yeah, let me rewind what I just saw.
Yeah, that movie had a jump scare that fucked me up for days.
Yeah, I got to check that out. We had just watched the new flick Sweetheart from Blumhouse.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, that shit went right under the radar. I think it was like a VOD movie, like direct to VOD.
Uh-huh.
It didn't get released in theaters, but it's about this chick washes up on this desert island, or deserted island rather, or whatever you want to fucking call it, like Castaway. And there's like this fucking sea monster that like lives in a hole off the coast of this fucking island.
Fucking what? That's not where I was imagining you're going with that.
Yeah, man, it's dope. It's pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't say it's dope. The creature's design is cool. The concept is cool. The execution is like. They don't give you any info about really like how she got there or because there's other people that wash up a little bit later that were on the same boat she was, and like it got wrecked and shit in a storm. That's fine with me. You don't really have to go into it too much, but like it just feels like a big unresolved whatever. And that's kind of not great about it because of the type of film it is, right? It's not like an art film, right? Or like a it doesn't have a lot of symbolism in it.
It's not trying anything heavy, so at the end you're kind of like, what the fuck?
Exactly. It's not like a Lighthouse where you're like, what the fuck was, Robert Pattinson staring into a fucking light for fucking what seems like forever and then like falls down a bunch of stairs. You know what I mean? Like there's no symbolism there. It's just like there's a fucking monster in the water and this chick has to survive and that's it. There's too many loose ends for me to the point where I want to feel for this character, but I can't really. And then like there's little to nothing about the monster, which is also fine, but I would have just liked a little bit more from it. It was okay. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of movies this year too, and it's like you guys have named a few that either I've seen or want to see. And I mean, I think one that obviously comes to mind, probably my favorite movie of the year, and maybe this is like an answer that people will roll their fucking eyes at, but I'm still gonna say it, is Endgame.
Endgame was good, dude.
Endgame was fantastic, and I couldn't really have that movie in any other way than what it was. Like after like 19 movies, I'm like, you know what? You fucking did it, so congratulations.
Yeah.
And it was the movie that finally I was like, you know what? I guess I'm done with Marvel because you can't top this. I'm sorry.
No, see
no, and like I'm not done with Marvel, but even I agree. I'm like, you'll never reach this height again. This is as good as you will ever get this, and like it'll come close probably, but I don't think you'll reach this fever pitch ever again.
That's exactly the way I felt about it, dude. Like after it was over, I was like, that was awesome. I was like, I don't care about anything except Spider-Man. Here we go.
No, well, yeah, right. I still didn't see that new one, and I heard it was very good, but
oh, it's great.
I'm kind of out. And you know what? They could totally bring me back in 2020. I have no idea what they have planned. I haven't really been following it. The new Thor will probably be good.
Yeah, I'll be there for next Doctor Strange for sure.
Yeah, Doctor Strange and Thor, I think I'm in. If they ever make that fucking Hulk movie, sign me up. Scarlet Witch looks cool.
Oh, Black Widow?
Oh, yeah, excuse me, Black Widow. That movie looks good.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, Black Widow looks awesome. And you know what? It looks so good, and it's...
Black Widow looks really fucking good.
It's not a knock against against the film, right? But, like, this should have been before, guys. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yep, and you can blame Ike Perlmutter for that, and thankfully he's gonna have to answer to Feige soon, because like he was the one who tried getting in the way of Black Panther. He's the one who didn't want Rebecca Hall to be the villain of Iron Man 3, and he's the one who continuously stopped a Black Widow movie from happening because
what a fucking asshole.
Hard right conservative fuckhead who doesn't like anything but white male leads in his movies. So
what?
Women should be in the kitchen.
That's kind of bizarre considering what Marvel, the MCU, did with female characters.
Yeah.
Like, if you really think about it, there's a shit ton of super strong female characters in those movies.
And a lot of it was because Feige is so good at what he does. And like, he's gotten the respect from the Disney brass. So, like, and, like, Ike's just the fucking... he's just... It's funny to say, he's just the Marvel CEO. He has no power.
You have no power here, wizard.
Not anymore, anyway. And he was the one who blamed Marvel comic sales dipping on minority characters getting pushes. Like,
oh
come
God.
on.
He's not the kind of person who should be in this position. Yeah, he's terrible.
Did he leave his fucking KKK robes at home?
How about rebooting the same fucking story over and over again? How about that?
That hurts, yeah, too. He's also notoriously, like, non-public. Like, there's very few pictures of him, which is weird. I'm like, what is he, a fucking vampire? Like,
he doesn't want to be shot.
Going back to movies, like I said, I saw a ton of shit this year, but it's like some stuff it's like is even worth mentioning. Like, I saw Dr. Sleep, like Joe had mentioned earlier he wanted to see.
Oh, you did? How was it?
I enjoyed it. Without giving away like the plot. I mean, if you don't know what it is, it's basically the sequel to The Shining, like takes place like 30 years later when Danny's all grown up. And the thing I did like about it, and maybe some people are like, oh, this ruins the fucking movie, is that they basically follow the movie ending rather than the book ending of The Shining. So it's kind of interesting where the plot goes towards the end of that film. At least to me, I thought it was kind of cool.
That's an interesting take. I mean, but it is the visual medium, right? So
yeah, right. And I know a lot of people that saw it I don't know if this is that much of a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear this, skip ahead 30 seconds. But basically, Jack Nicholson has a stand-in, and some people weren't so crazy about the portrayal of that. But I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
What are you gonna? You can't fucking get someone to play Jack Nicholson. They don't exist, but you can get pretty damn close.
Did it need it though? I mean, I would assume that he plays a ghost in the hotel. Yes.
He plays the role that the bartender played in The Shining.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which makes total sense with how that first movie ended.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me.
I also saw, with actually Joe and my girlfriend, One Piece Stampede, which was like One Piece's...
that was great.
Their all-star fucking movie, every major character fighting on this island, and it was like, I think the first time they ever did a subbed release in theaters in the States.
It was really good.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because something else I saw this year along those lines knocked me on my ass. I wasn't ready for it, and that was the Broly movie from Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it, but I had a buddy who did, and he said it was amazing.
Holy shit! Like, I'm mad I didn't see that movie in theaters because, one, it was a visual treat. Like, it had an animation style the show has never used before. It was very floaty, and the colors were a little more subdued. The score was awesome. They made retcons that needed to happen. And they repaired Broly from being a fucking idiot who got angry at a crying baby to an actual character with depth and some complexity, which is weird to say for a Dragon Ball show.
You know what's funny that you mentioned the art of that movie? You want to hear something kind of interesting?
Yes.
That the lead artist on that, I don't remember his name, so I apologize, but he actually is now the lead on One Piece.
Really?
And One Piece Stampede was in that same visual style.
Ooh, okay. Now I kind of want to see it then.
It's good.
It's fucking, it looks sick. I mean, the One Piece anime, I could talk about that all day too, but it's like, there's a shit ton of filler, but it looks pretty, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But just to kind of round off movies I want to just mention before we kind of get into the meat and potatoes of this this wrap-up episode, if you will. I mean, I saw Midsommar, which Joe mentioned, which I thought was phenomenal. And another one I wrote down that I thought was pretty good that people I think should see is Dolomite Is My Name with Eddie Murphy. I think we talked about it on the show briefly in the past.
Yeah, I didn't see that either. I haven't seen shit. I'm terrible this year.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, so I mean, you don't got to buy a ticket at least.
Yeah, but I'm looking for the fucking time.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I mean, I say I hear you, but I just watched 8 hours of The Witcher in the span of 2 days, so
you motherfucker. I just want to kind of turn it to the horror side of things again. I got a chance to see In Fabric, which is an independent film. I forget who directed it. I don't have all this shit in front of me, folks, so you caught me with my pants down.
Is this the art movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and a couple other people?
No.
Okay.
This is the art film that kind of plays like a giallo, but also is kind of parodying it at the same time. It's like a dark comedy horror thriller about a killer dress, a possessed dress.
okay.
It didn't go the places that I thought it would go. It's good. Like, you should see it just to see, like, the filmmaking is...
I feel like I've actually heard of this the more I'm thinking about it as you're explaining the...
Well, you get to see Gwendolyn Christie get fucking eaten out in this movie. I don't know if that does anything for you, but through that happens. But it's really well shot. It just it nails that 70s style and color that I love so much from those French films and those Italian films. And
sure, yeah.
It's just, it feels very cozy to me, albeit the third act I think takes a real shit. I don't know why they chose to do what they did, because those first 2 acts are strong as fuck, and I was waiting to see where this went, and then it just kind of went, and I was like, oh, okay, like, I get it, but I didn't realize it's almost kind of like an anthology movie, but there's only 2 stories, sort of, like 1.5. It was cool. It was fine, not great, but definitely, I think it's worth watching at least once. And then of course Crawl, which I really, really enjoyed, the Alexander Asia killer alligator movie.
So what's the twist on this one? Is there a twist?
There is no twist. It's just
big ass alligator killing people.
It's multiple alligators from an alligator farm that gets...
Oh, this was the one with the flood, correct, right?
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing really to spoil. Like, it's this chick goes back to her childhood home because her dad is there working on it. because her folks had a divorce or whatever. Her mother died. I can't remember. But yeah, she goes back to the house and he's like trapped under the house. And there's a fucking alligator underneath the house. And while this is happening, they're trying to get out of this basement while a storm is rolling in and starts flooding everything around them.
Oh, man.
It's fucking great.
Where the hell is Robin Williams and David Allegreer when you need them?
The real world twist is that that's something else that Connor is fucking petrified of is alligators.
Well, you lived in Florida, didn't you?
I did, yeah, and like an alligator to a 5-year-old is a fucking dinosaur, so.
It's very good. I mean, I thought it was great. It was a great summer creature feature. It was like Dog's Days of Summer. I think it came out in like August.
What was that? Wasn't Sam Raimi attached to that, or did he produce it or something?
Yeah, he was. Ghost House Pictures, I think, produced it, which is Sam Raimi's thing. So it was Sam Raimi and Alexander Asia. They know how to make horror movies, dude, and it was good. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna write all that down and check it out as soon as we finish this recording. You guys want to talk about Movie Dumpster a little bit?
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, okay. I'm not really good at talking about us or things that I do, right? But let's give it a shot.
We'll force each other through this. Let's
We'll hold each other's hands while we walk through the graveyard of the MDU, the post-apocalyptic future that John Hurt has sprawled out in front of us.
Yeah.
We're like a fucked up Wizard of Oz. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, it's the three of us. And who's Toto in the situation here?
Toby.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Joe's cat.
Or monster. I was gonna say one of the cats. Yeah.
I think they're both there.
Come on, guys. You gotta come through the John Hurt's wasteland. We'll show you where to go.
There's a movie for a Toby and Monster on the fucking road, in Yellow Brick Road.
Oh, yeah, man.
It would be lots of Toby stopping to give Monster his inhaler for his asthma attacks.
And lots of Toby stopping because he needs shrimp.
And Toby looking at the camera as if he has a human face.
I need sharp. Stop. I need to eat.
Just a quick aside. We posted a picture on our Instagram and Facebook and all the social medias, if you will. But at Joe's Christmas party this year, he had this massive fucking sub on the table. And Toby kept going on the fucking table and knocking sandwiches off the fucking table and just start chowing down on them.
Oh, he's ravenous. And like, we don't feed the fucking cat. You know what I mean?
Right. Anyway, made me think of that and it gave me a little chuckle.
That's his voice, Toby TM, by the way.
I'm not even going to try to replicate it, but I love it.
He talks like this.
He sounds like Meatwad. That's great.
Kind of, yeah. There's a little bit, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want sharp and fresh, please. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I want to give a very just quick rundown of the movies we did this year, and then let's. I kind of want to just talk about maybe individually, or maybe we'll come together on this. We'll see how it goes.
Sure.
Our favorite episodes this year, and that could kind of include episodes that you just enjoyed what we talked about, or maybe the movie in particular sticks out at you, or maybe a little bit of both. And, you obviously, anyone listening to this, you could just look at this on your podcast feed, or you can go to our website, moviedumpsterpodcast.com, and check this all out. But I'm going to do it for you. Save you a little aggravation.
Yeah, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. At Movie Dumpster.
And we don't really mention it that much on the show. We do have an email.
Yeah, we do.
We do get emails from people occasionally.
Yeah, write to us. Tell us about it. Tell us that we suck, or tell us that you like us. It's fine.
It's, I think it's moviedumpsterpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Moviedumpsterpodcast@gmail.com.
Here we go. I'm going to break it down. We did 34 episodes this year. Starting off with Lawnmower Man, Dragon Ball Evolution.
Sorry.
The Punisher, the 1989 version, which we actually had a guest on, a friend of the show, Dave DeForn.
It was Dolph Lundgren, Punisher. P.S.
Fourth episode of the year was one near and dear to, I think, all of our hearts, Bleeders.
Oh, the birth of Granny Van Daam, dude. How could you forget?
Hello.
That was a great episode, boys.
My birthplace.
Number 5, Luck of the Irish. Then, here, we're starting to go downhill quick, if Dragon Ball Evolution already wasn't a low point. Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. Thanks, Connor.
Man, I don't ever need to see that again, thank you.
I just keep picturing that guy sitting in front of those fucking monitors just for hours, it felt like.
I'm glad this is the fucking the curse I've set upon the world, is making people aware of it.
Well, there you go. I think that was the whole point of the movie, right? Like the curse is real because you're telling people about it and then they watch it.
You share this pain with me. You don't want to? Too bad.
Jeffrey.
Of course, the next episode has a return of a near and dear character to the MDU. In Pursuit, starring Daniel Baldwin.
Oh yeah, and Coolio joined the MDU ranks that day too.
Yeah, we got a little funky with Keenan and Kel in the beginning of that episode, just a little bit.
Sure did.
Of course, also, not only bringing Daniel Baldwin back into the fold from his previous venture in yesterday's Target episode 4 season 1, but also the introduction of the patented Daniel Baldwin dolphin dive.
Mm-hmm.
As he jumped over a couch to try to escape an assassin.
Don't fuck with me!
I got nothing else to lose!
Yeah, he's fucking drinking the tequila, man.
The beach whale splash.
The Spanish guy who's not really Spanish. Or he can't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
But he does.
But he lives in Spain, or La Paz, or whatever the fuck it was supposed to be.
La Paz, with love from La Paz, man.
Yeah.
We gotta make that postcard.
Yeah.
Put it in the fucking store when we open it, finally.
Gotta happen, man. Of course, our next episode, which a lot of people loved, I gotta tell you, might be some of, if not the best episode we did this year. Jurassic Park.
Because
I can tell you this episode single-handedly got a lot of people I know to pay attention to us because I sent it to some friends of mine. They're like, you did not. I was like, why don't you go listen and find out? And they came back like, wow, this is brilliant.
For those that haven't heard it, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go back, listen to it. I don't know if it's going to take you 90 minutes to enjoy the whole thing. You might figure it out in about 5, but hey.
You get some good Jeff Goldblum ASMR in there? There you go.
Yeah, put it on when you're going to sleep.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was actually a test, too, because that was the thing, right? Like, we wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of the fact that we just don't do bad movies. We actually do movies that we like. And it was funny to do that episode because not only was it an April Fool's joke, but again, like Connor said, like people are like, you actually did Jurassic Park? Like, no, of course we're not going to do Jurassic Park. There's nothing, Well,
that's like, I had so many, I had a friend of mine say this, and even Rudy, real friend of the show from O Street Mini Golf, kind of had a similar reaction where he's like, man, I was listening to it for like 3 minutes, and I think you have something wrong with your audio file. We're like, no, it was a joke, man. Like, look at the date on the episode. And he's like, shit. Okay, I get it. I like it. I'm into it.
I think my favorite thing about that episode is that we totally recorded an intro and an outro. And then it plays for an hour and a half. And then the outro kicks in.
My buddy George was like, I think he made a comment about the sheer commitment levels that were attached to that. He's like, I can't believe you recorded an intro and outro. And like, he's like, the length. He's like, you went 100 yards with a stupid gag.
I mean, peek behind the curtain here. The next episode after Jurassic Park was Star Kid, starring Tim from Jurassic Park. So we kind of just did it right before we recorded that episode.
Yeah, it was a little lead in there.
Star Kid, by the way, a film that I had never seen or heard of, and I don't know if I enjoyed it, but it was fun. It was a fun one to do.
I liked it. I liked it as a kid, and I liked coming back to it, and it was fun to break down with you guys.
I liked the Guyver angle we kind of put on it. That kind of gave it new life.
Not in my top 5, though, but keep going.
Sure.
Decapitating biotic.
Okay. I think my favorite line, if I'm recalling correctly, my favorite line of that is when Sean's like, and then this fucking kid crawls in this robot's ass.
I mean, that's basically what happens.
It's like the reverse of Ace Ventura, too, when he's crawling out the rhino's ass. Like, play that and, rewind that and play it back.
Factual.
I think my favorite part is when he just totally destroys his fucking house inside that cyber suit, and then you don't find out what happens, but his dad definitely killed him when the movie ended.
Oh, yeah, he sure did. No, his dad's a lawyer. He can afford it. Fuck him. Unless he's Sam Whipple, then he doesn't have any money.
Right, no. He always forgets to send out the bill. This next film, we've had some conflicting opinions on this show about this movie, but it did create one of my favorite characters of the year, Bunraku.
Yes.
Starring our dear friend, the bartender, Woody Harrelson.
I think that's my least favorite episode from this year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun to talk about some of it, but it ultimately I didn't have a good time watching that movie.
Sure. I think we made it work. We had the bartender come out of that. So I'm kind of okay with it.
You know what? He left his post where everybody knows your name, and now he's in I don't know where.
Let me tell you something. You ever hear about pop-up funnies?
That and the legacy of that character lives and dies for me on, I think it was a later episode where we were doing the sketch with the bartender, and Joe, as Woody Harrelson, pops in and goes like, "Anyway, legend has it, fuckface."
I think that was the. We'll get to it. I think that was the Rain of Fire episode.
Yeah, Rain of Fire, because Joe was trying to say he was his partner, obviously from True Detective, and I was not picking that up, and I was like, oh no, it's his cousin.
Oh man, that's like a running thing. I feel like I fucking lay it down, and you guys go. And it happens to all of us, right? Because we're like in the moment thinking about the movie.
I don't know how many times I've gone back and edited an episode after recording. I'm like, oh, god damn, I can't believe I didn't know what he was talking about.
I know. Or how many good jokes we missed.
Yeah. I mean, that's inevitable, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll get to it because I have a couple that were fucking bangers that we just totally breezed over.
Hate when that happens, but it's an unfortunate part of doing the show.
Yeah.
Next up, actually, this is might not be one of my favorite episodes, but definitely one of the favorite films we did this year was Critters 2, the main course. We did that for Easter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's always fun to watch.
Oh my god, what a fun movie.
That movie made me laugh very, very hard by the end of it, so yeah.
It's one of the best sequels to a B movie ever, in my opinion.
I would agree with that, and I also like the fact that we just kind of made the Hungry Heifer this like entity that comes up anytime like another movie does like a fast food place.
Somehow Eddie Deazen's there, and then he's got that moo shake, dude. He's ready.
It's like By and Large from the Pixar universe. It takes over the world.
Next up. There's a little history behind this pick if Joe wants to go into it, but Howard the Duck.
Oh yeah. Well, I did want to talk about I did want to talk about our misadventures off the mic and into the real world, and we've been hitting a bunch of cons. I mean, the thing is, like, I do this anyway. I go to these conventions anyway, so it's cool to kind of incorporate what we're doing here at Movie Dumpster to do that. So we'd go to these shows and talk to these celebrities and stuff. And Lee Thompson was super into it when we were talking about it, and we actually got her to do an intro for the Howard the Duck show for our episode. And she was all about it. She thought it was funny as hell. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much that.
Yeah, and this is also a film that Joe for years has been telling me to fucking check out, and when we did, I hated it. It's
a film that's near and dear to me. I used to watch it all the time as a kid.
I totally get it. I'm not going to be in the camp of like this is a total piece of shit, and I think we even said in the episode if you guys want to listen back at home.
Yeah, I made it a point to say that it's not anymore at this point. It's not deserving of the title of like one of the worst ever made because
right,
easy.
Yeah, there are definitely worse.
There's a lot worse.
We got to talk about a duck's penis on that episode, so you know what? That's pretty okay with me.
The old corkscrew dick.
Yeah,
and then how Leah Thompson tried to fuck her son and then a duck.
Yeah,
consecutively in 2 years.
Duck World.
Or the world of the Daniel Stern world?
Yeah, we got the competing Duck World versus the Daniel Stern world, which I'm still not sure how that planet functions.
It's just a planet of Daniel Stern somewhere.
It's just millions of people like pratfalling like every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you said. I think we said that on the Bushwhacked episode.
Yeah, it's just people like getting hit by cars and falling down stairs. Like.
Ow.
This next movie, man, I think I kind of love this film. Bushwhacked.
Hell yeah. It's a great comedy, dude.
We introduced this idea during season 1 of the MDU, like we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, but it was like Joe and Connor were saying, it was kind of just like Baldwin and John Hurt and the occasional character here and there. I think Jody and Isaac Hayes kind of got brought up a whole lot from Uncle Sam. But Daniel Stern, I think, was like the one that we finally started like really connecting the dots on.
We really laid into it because we did
Home Alone 4.
Home Alone 4 last year. And then we actually have because he's not in that movie, it's French Stewart as both Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern.
I just want to reiterate, that movie's an asinine piece of shit, okay? Like
I think that's the worst movie we've done. Easy.
Snowman Poop, I think I said it was.
Yeah, Snowman Poop. Where was I going with that? Yeah, but Daniel Stern finally comes into the fold for real, into the MDU fold, and then this is the prequel to it's the sequel to Chud and the prequel to Home Alone. is bushwhacked.
Yeah, it connects many threads.
It connects many threads, yeah.
It was also like the antithesis of this thing that I kind of wanted to do for a little bit, and I didn't really expand on it as much as maybe I wanted to this year, but this idea of these MDU Mondays kind of going off on this lore that we're just fucking creating on this show.
Yeah, that's a fun thing.
And I just have to read the fucking Daniel Stern one on air because this is fucking hilarious to me, and maybe I'm tooting my own horn, and I apologize, but I'm going to read it regardless.
These all come with pictures, by the way, too.
Yeah, you can find it on our Instagram. We typically do post it on the Facebook, but I would recommend the Instagram. It's a little easier to read.
We get the most traffic on Instagram, too, so I guess that's the place to follow us, or whatever.
So if you don't understand what we're talking about, I mean, granted, you probably haven't listened to the show at this point, but regardless, let's see the madness that we're talking about here. So here's an excerpt from MDU Mondays. Daniel the Reverend Stern spent his early days working in an NYC homeless shelter until Chuds crawled out of the sewer and started eating his tenants. Teaming up with John Hurd, the Rev was able to dispose of the problem and expose a government cover-up in the process. Stern quietly changes his name and moves to Seattle. Now going by, quote, Mad Max, and working as a delivery driver, he falls for an obvious setup and is framed for the murder of Hannibal Lecter's doctor. To clear his name, he kidnaps a troop of Ranger Scouts and climbs the treacherous Devil's Peak so that he can intercept a package intended for the man everyone thinks he murdered. Surprise, the good doctor's still alive, but Daniel punches out his dentures and saves the day. A pretty good part of the film, by the way. Unfortunately, while praised a hero for saving the scouts and exposing another crime, he is arrested for fleeing the FBI and for stealing several cars on his journey. During his time in jail, Stern, now going by Marv Merchants, meets criminal Joe Pesci, going by the name of Harry Lime. The two hit it off and the rest is history. If only it weren't for that meddling Kevin McAllister kid. Who knows where Daniel Stern would be now? The sad truth, while working a job, Merchants and Lime were murdered by massive dog-sized mosquitoes after Marv had flooded the place as their calling card. Little taste of what we're cooking up on Instagram.
And for those who are a little late to the party, the MDU is essentially just a gag on the MCU. And honestly, part of it stemmed from my bitterness that the Netflix shows were not quite as attached to the movies as I wanted them to be. And every time they were like, it's all connected, I was like, is it now? So the gag is that literally everything is connected and every movie you've ever seen is in the same universe.
In some way, shape, or form, baby. That's the way it goes.
Yes. Through the most ridiculous, far-out-reaching, desperate attempts ever.
Yeah, I think I said at some point that Christian Bale was two people. If you ever saw that movie, what the fuck was it called? The magician one.
Oh, The Prestige.
The Prestige. Yeah, you know he's got that twin. So
Yeah.
of course there's two of them fucking walking around.
Well, yeah, they're bopping all over the place. One became Batman, one fought dragons. It's a whole thing.
We don't know which one fought the Terminators, but it was one or the other. We're not totally sure.
It was one of them. We don't know.
Going back to the list, you know, the first few I didn't have a whole lot to say about. You know, I could go on about Lawnmower Man for hours.
Yeah.
God damn it. Titanic 2. So one of our fans sent us this as a suggestion. Oh my God. I would have never guessed that this movie, this piece of shit independent film by Shane Van Dyke, Dick Van Dyke's fucking grandson, would have turned into this cataclysmic event in the MDU.
It's a T-Day, baby.
Because in that episode...
And also, speaking on the merits of that movie, like, it's far shittier than I could possibly imagine. And
right.
It should cement in everyone's minds that Asylum Pictures is not to be respected.
No, it's one of those, what the fuck are you doing? I think isn't there a whole show dedicated to what were they thinking? I'm sure they've done this. I'm sure they've done Titanic too.
Probably.
Because what were they thinking? What a stupid concept. And just like a poorly executed piece of shit. Like, I think we even said in the episode, like, if you didn't have the money for that, what are you trying to do?
Right.
Well, they're part of the movement of, like, we made a movie that's bad. Wink. It's like, no, you stop. You can't make a bad movie with intent. It doesn't work.
I honestly feel like Shane Van Dyke thought this thing was fucking great. I really don't think he went into it trying to make a bad film.
I don't know.
If he thought otherwise, he wouldn't have wrote himself into a hero's death.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Meanwhile, Bruce Davidson's just staring off into the distance like he's on fucking lewds or something.
Well, his batteries died.
Thank God Bruce Davison is reinvigorated in the new Creepshow series, because he is fantastic in that, because he's actually a good actor.
He is. And I mean, we joke about his role in X-Men, but I thought he was solid in those films too.
Yeah, I had mentioned it on that episode, but like one of my favorite Tales from the Dark Side episodes is Word Processor of the Gods, and he's awesome in that.
This next film, Drainiac.
It's classic.
The plumber. I'm here to drain the. I can't even do the voice. You guys are good at it.
Connor's the best.
Plumber. Just here to get a poltergeist to take care of it quick.
When you got the whiskey and the plumber.
I'm the most non-enthused exorcist you've ever met.
Where's Pluto Nash?
The thing that's hilarious to me about that is like Plumber in his own right is kind of a memorable character. But I was just like, fuck that, it's Gunnar Henson.
Oh, yeah, and then we ascended him to wizardry.
Yeah, that was the episode where Gunnar ascended to Gunnar the Gray to Gunnar the White.
Right.
Yeah, that's where we established the MDU has wizards.
And
they're all heavy-set, hairy men.
I'm here for our own show just for that. Because the wizards are my favorite part of our show.
Same. Yeah, Gunnar Henson the White. We had to get him back on the show somehow. I think I don't know if it was Drainiac was the episode we made this connection or not, but GVD was definitely fucking him in some timeline. We don't know which timeline.
Yeah, was it that episode?
I know that eventually Gunnar kind of he doesn't fight for her love as much as maybe we wanted him to, but he definitely was getting it back in the day from GVD.
Yeah.
Well, you don't fight for her love. You argue for her lust. That's it.
Yeah.
Or you're just forced. I think that's the word we're looking for.
Yeah. We're all sacks of meat to Granny Van Daam.
Yeah, she just backs you up against the wall with that wheelchair. You can't get away.
Take off your... Yeah, she's got that fucking shotgun from Super Mario Brothers. Take off your fucking pants, you!
You don't want to push her over because she's in a wheelchair, but she's a threat.
She tries to warm you up, though.
I'm still waiting, Connor, I'm still waiting to do the GVD origin story. I mean, we kind of got a little bit of it in Blood Rage, but I think the real deal is still Steel.
We'll get to it. I think it is Steel.
Fucking Granny Van Daam Begins? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I've only made it halfway through this list, folks. Number 16, speaking of Rudy Reel and O Street Mini Golf, Prehysteria 3.
Yeah.
Okay. This one's notable for me personally because, I've said it in the episode, but my face when the words Matt Letcher popped up on the screen, I couldn't believe it. And for those who don't know, Matt Letcher is the guy who plays, he's one of the two actors who played Reverse Flash on the Flash TV show, and that's my favorite show. He's my favorite DC character. So to have the two sides of my podcasting life kind of meet in the middle like this was a moment locked in time. I'm so happy it happened.
I think that was our first Moonbeam movie too. Our first foray into the Charles Band universe for this show. And he's kicking it with John Hurt.
A movie about a little girl and her fucking mini putt course that she lives on.
The third in a series of pygmy dinosaur movies.
Yeah.
Where dinosaurs are eating and shitting out haggis and people are fucking ordering it for lunch.
Dino-burgers. Jackpot.
And people are like, is that a tiny dinosaur? Whatever, I'm closing your golf course.
No, it's not. Goodbye.
When we did that episode, we actually, I think we definitely talked about it during the episode and on social media around the time, and you can look the pictures up. But we went out with Aaron and Rudy from O Street Mini Golf, and we played a little bit of mini golf. Unfortunately, Connor, travel was not an option in this case. I didn't think you're going to travel. What is it? 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles just to play mini golf?
Yeah. I also hadn't attained my skeletal form yet, so I couldn't just be there and hang out.
Right. Yeah.
If you were in skeletal form, you would have made the trek with us, guaranteed. You wouldn't even putted a few holes too.
You would have done better than I did.
I would have loved to see me get a few holes as a skeleton.
But we had a great time with Rudy and Aaron.
And if you haven't seen it, they actually posted the entire match pretty much on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, the whole thing. You can go watch it. It was at O Street Mini Golf and Lucky Duck Entertainment.
Yes. Next up, another guest on the show. I may be tipping my hand a little bit, but this was probably one of my favorite episodes of the year.
I know what it is.
Child's Play 3.
Yeah, with our good friend CB Smith.
Yeah, you know what? It's a little behind the scenes. I know I keep saying that, but CB Smith is actually one of my good friends that I met through another one of my good friends, and through Dungeons and Dragons, believe it or not.
Oh my God, you like Justin Whalen and Marlon Wayans?
Yeah, Snails is in the corner, fucking dead.
Let the blood rain from the sky.
Yeah. But my buddy Chris Cruz, who does listen to the show also, so shout out to Chris Cruz. He asked me, I had been interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons for years, and I never had a group, and he had an opening in his group at the time and said, hey, you want to jump in? And, long story short, that's where I met CB Smith, and to this day, I say to this day, it's only been a couple of years, but I still play D&D with the guy when he can. He's in our current campaign, me and him, we've kind of hooked up a little in the game where I play a fighter, and he plays a gnome known as Warlock Holmes.
Norm?
And
Warlock Holmes.
We haven't done it in a while, but early on in the campaign, we were going a little Metal Gear where Holmes was riding on my fucking back with a gun shooting monsters. Again, just another shout out to my friend Chris Cruz running the game. And so CB Smith came on that episode, and he had recently gone to boot camp. And he dropped all the military lore on us for Child's Play 3, which is a movie that it's definitely the worst of the first set of Child's Play films.
Sure,
but there's enough about it that I don't hate it.
I don't think it's as bad as the latter films after Bride.
No.
I liked hearing the side of how like a novelization of a film can be just so radically different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, CB's also the reason why I paid an exorbitant amount of money for the the novel itself, Child's Play 3, because I have a sickness, folks, and I needed to own that. So, yep. Got that.
Yeah.
Thank you, CB. Appreciate it.
We're coming with all the plugs this episode because this is the one to do it, but he also does a show on YouTube, which we talked about when he was on, and we do mention it occasionally on the show, give him a plug here and there. But a show called Turning the Page he does on YouTube where he compares the novelizations of movies to the books they're based on. And when I asked him to come on, he read Child's Play 3, the book, and he kind of like was telling us all about it when we did the recording. It was like super interesting, the changes that they made from the book to the movie with that film.
Which is also weird because what did we also talk about? That the fact that the original screenplay is basically the novelization before it goes to get shot.
Yeah.
So that's like what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, like the way Chucky was killed off at the end was totally different. Like he gets shot in the head or some bullshit, and it's like totally not how it ends in the movie.
No, they're on like one of those octopus rides or something, and then like some guy like
yeah,
the third act is in a different location altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, and like some janitor or some shit like takes him home, like the body.
It sounds familiar. I would also like to mention that episode. This didn't really turn into a character, but for this episode, it sure as fuck was a character. Uncle Frank from Hellraiser made an appearance.
Come to Daddy, or Frank, or whatever.
Being a total pervy creep in that film.
Yeah, well, didn't we bring up Corpse Fucker in that episode too?
Corpse Fucker was pre-hysteria.
Oh man, how could I forget? I didn't even write him down on my list. I need to just leave the show. Corpse Fucker.
Well, he's in the dark corner of the MDU, dude. You don't want to fuck with that guy.
Yeah, Corpse Fucker. Obviously, for those at home, he was created in the pre-hysteria pre-hysteria 3 episode.
He's like Galactus. You know he's there. You know he's dangerous, but you don't have the time to pay attention to him.
Just get done with your mini golf and get the fuck off the course, or he's gonna do something dangerous to you.
Yes.
Yeah, and to be fair, he doesn't want to be bothered while he's drinking his fucking Mai Tai, dude. Leave him alone.
No. A character that did a character name. I don't know how you even want to word this, but Charles Lee Ray. Just specifically, not even Chucky, but Charles Lee Ray was brought up on this show a lot.
The Misadventures of Human Chucky.
Like he's two separate entities, like Chucky and then Charles Lee Ray. Well, there's Brad Dourif, and then there's the doll.
The antithesis of that was because the character Tyler, who Chucky was trying to possess in that film, kept calling him Charles repeatedly.
Charles!
Oh, Charles, where are you, Charles?
Oh, you mean the child who would definitely die if I left him outside for more than an hour?
Yeah.
We're playing Hide Your Soul with Charles.
Oh, my God.
Pass.
Right up there with Bob as far as most annoying children in a horror film ever.
I think he's worse than Bob. That's my opinion.
Yeah, well, worst movie definitely doesn't do him any favors.
Mommy, where's Charles, Mommy?
I got out of the basement. Whoops. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Spoilers to a 40-year-old movie. Sorry, guys.
Oops.
Okay. Man, we just were doing banger after banger this year. The next film is Super fucking Mario Brothers.
Hell yeah! Okay, this is one of my favorite episodes that we did.
Yeah, it's in my top 5.
This is on my top 5 list.
Me too, because it is the birthplace of my favorite audio clip that we've ever used.
Me too, Connor.
Which I didn't know it was gonna happen when I listened to the episode back, and like I'm in a Walgreens and I'm in like the allergy section or something, and then like it gets to the point right here. And like I'm doubled over with my hand over my mouth and just trying not to look like I'm losing my mind because I have headphones in. And I think went outside and just let it out.
The best use of that ever, and I gotta give Joe so many fucking props for this, was on the Rain of Fire episode. When Matthew McConaughey jumps off that tower towards the fucking dragon.
Yeah, the subsequent returns of it also broke me in half every time it happened.
Oh, man. They pop up periodically, yeah.
Matthew McConaughey yelling, "Come on, big boy," while do just plays over it is fucking hilarious to me every time I hear it.
Come on, big boy!
Yeah, Connor, I'm right there with you. That was like, I almost think that's like a character in of itself. Just that riff being inserted in other episodes for no reason other than that we find it hilarious.
And how it's like immediately associated with like two people in a car driving through a busy street, like
or just like a ludicrous scene, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've also kind of expanded on the whole Mario Brothers lore where it's like, well, was it actually in the same, they're both in New York because the Baby's Day Out is happening across town.
Yes, that was it. Yep. Joe Mantegna and Joe Pantoliano were over there stealing a baby while they were fucking around in the Scapelli's pipes. Right.
And, I'm going to have to jump back briefly, and maybe this is an excuse to talk about a movie I kind of just named and didn't say anything about, but Lawnmower Man? Because Cybo Man makes his first appearance in that film.
Yes. How did we just miss that? He is running as, because we're gonna figure out who's the best, our favorite characters of the MDU. But Cybo Man is neck and neck with one other character that I'll get to when we get to that point. But fucking goddamn, dude, I still need that Job Cybo Man team up buddy cop movie. I need it.
I just like the fact that I got to like exercise this movie out of my system finally and just sit down with other people and go like, isn't this fucking bizarre? Like,
it's great. I legitimately love it.
I have to ask you, Connor, did you ever get to watch the extended cut?
No, and now I should actually.
Oh, dude, do yourself a favor.
I probably will for a suggestion I have next year as a preamble to it. But anyway, let's
Jesus Christ!
I don't want to show my hand yet.
Lawnmower Man is great.
Lawnmower Man was like, it's one of those movies that everything you read about it online is like, this movie's offensive and a piece of shit. And I'm like, all right, maybe I just won't watch it. And then we did it for the show, and I'm like, people are fucking crazy. This movie's legitimately great.
Yeah, it is. It's real good.
It's great, and it's entertaining as hell, and it's got some hilariously dated CGI and some really questionable decisions and lots of just strange shit happening. It's really entertaining.
But also really cool concepts, too.
Yeah.
Like, I love Cybo Man, and I'm there for Cybo Man, but the journey that Job and Dr. Angelo go on, like, concurrently are just so fucking interesting.
Wham! The Adventures of Wham and Cybo Man.
Yeah.
Man, Cybo Man, I gotta like sculpt a Cybo Man statue or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
A man after my heart. So we break out of Super Mario Brothers, and man, thank God we did this film before we did the next one, because I think it would have broke us all. Go Shark.
My favorite part of this episode is Joe naming all of the fucking shark movies from the last, like, 10 years. And one of them happened to be one of the movies I found, like, at 2 in the morning on Tubi, and it was Shark-and-Saw Women's Prisons Massacre, which I watched, like, a half hour of, and I was like, I think I get this now.
Go Shark sucks.
I feel like the thing that we constantly have brought up after the fact with Go Shark, besides obviously that we just shoehorned Gunnar Hansen into Richard Mole.
Yeah, sure did. Richard Mole might be making a comeback on season 3.
Oh man, we gotta do House. That movie's amazing.
Wink, 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 wink.
Richard Mole is amazing in that film if you haven't seen it. But specifically the idea that this character I was almost said Seraphine. This underage teen.
Oh no, Seraphine. That was last season.
Yeah. This underage teen that was constantly shown in peril, practically nude. Somehow kept coming up in this show.
Oh, it's funny.
But like, goddamn, Go Shark. Like a shark dies in a cave and is brought back to life, and Richard Mole's fucking wife died in the cave and she's back, but just to warn him. or something.
Which doesn't sound terrible. Like I'm okay. Okay, give me that. But
the problem is you need like a really skilled hand to take that level of nonsense and turn it into something that's like productive and good. And
yes,
no, none of those hands were present.
Well, you don't get that, and that's why we insert Gunner and GVD and fucking Christian Bale in the corner phasing in and out of reality.
Yep.
Oh yeah. One of the biggest problems with that film is the effects, and like,
oh man, this is a fucking crime, man.
Yeah, man, we go into it on that episode, or after the fact we went into it because we had no idea, because we were like, man, these effects look like shit. Turns out that like the creature shop that did the shark did an amazing job on the shark. It looks so good.
Yeah.
And then, like,
they fucked it up.
Yeah, whoever did the fucking post effects, like the compositing and shit, just totally fucking borked the whole goddamn thing, made everything look like shit. And it's a shame, because you could have did something really cool, and you just didn't. And instead of making a giant blue fucking gummy shark bite fruit snack, you could have did something good.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. I feel bad for those effects artists, because they did a really, really nice job.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I hate it when anyone has to, like, or a team of people has to, like, dump that much manual labor into an effect and then just have someone, like, one of the fucking bean counters be like, nah, just fucking do it by computer.
The Thing remake?
Yeah.
It was a sci-fi original film, and it's like, what do you really expect? But, like, you had a chance to make this, like, way more interesting than it ended up.
It's just like The Thing. I mean, prequel. I wouldn't call it a reboot, but it's definitely a prequel. You know, all of those effects were all practical by Studio ADI, and they just fucking covered them all up with CGI, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, like, what's the logic at the end of the day? It's, I tell you, the practical one doesn't look good enough.
Yeah, but, like, that's why the original, well, not the original, but John Carpenter's was so great, because of the effects in that, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if that uncut version's ever going to get released.
I doubt it. I hope it does, but I doubt it. Or the despecialized edition.
Yeah, well, right. Yeah, I don't even know what you would call that. Yeah. This next series of films, I'm kind of proud of, in the sense that we added another event month, if you will. I don't know what you want to even call it. Another event to the MDU, because we have you know, we're gonna get to it. We have Trashing Through the Snow, and we have Trick or Trash, but now we also have blockbuster bombs.
Yeah, which I had a lot of fun with this year. That was something new that we tried.
Yeah, same.
I like this concept because I think everyone has a memory of a movie they've seen that came out in like the you know, April, March to like all the way to August, July period, where in between all these giant tentpole releases, you have these little films that either try and, you know, undeservedly fail, or a movie like Cats, which was doomed to fail, and just falls on its face. And then to hear the stories about how much money is just burned in another situation is fascinating to me.
What did you say on the preamble before we started? That Cats is the only film with like a patch?
Oh, yeah, it's getting patched.
As it's released?
Like a fucking video game.
I didn't say it before, but towards the end of that movie, apparently Judi Dench lifts her hands up, and they forgot to finish the effect on her hand, and she has a full human hand with a wedding ring on, and it's just there in the fucking movie.
What?
And I also heard there are models in the background that people forgot to add fur to, so it's just these fucking gray blobs that hang out in the background sometimes.
Oh my god. You want to know why?
Sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Should have fucking been people in makeup, but okay.
Yeah, no, Taylor Swift had to go to cat school for that movie.
I'm sorry, what?
Ugh.
Taylor Swift allegedly went to a cat school to learn how to be a cat for 30 seconds.
That fucking moron would, wouldn't she? I gotta go be a cat.
How much money do I have? I'm gonna go to cat school money.
Yeah, when you have I'm gonna go to cat school money, maybe you should just fucking go fuck off somewhere. God damn, that aggravates me so much. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, you want to know something that actually made a lot of money, but we still hated it? Well, we actually didn't hate it. I'm kind of shocked that we didn't hate it, but Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
I didn't particularly like it.
Yeah, and I brought this one up as an idea because like it's a remake of a really well-respected classic fantasy film that came out, and people were like, "Did you hear that? No? Okay."
Dude, it made a ton of money. It made a
a shitload of money because I think the marketing for it really helped, because I remember seeing the trailer for it and going, "Holy shit."
Not that that's obviously like a immediate, you know, equivalation to good.
Yeah, exactly. And it bombed as far as cultural relevance and footprint goes. Like, how do you remake a movie like that and then just not, you know,
deliver?
Either you home run or you fail.
Yeah.
Well, it's a sequel, I think, that ended up shit canning it in the long run.
Yeah, well, Connor keeps talking about this, and I don't know, man. Maybe it's on the fucking plate. Who knows?
I think we should close the book and watch it.
Oh man, Connor's gonna break that T-shirt out again.
Oh shit!
I found it finally. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you found? Okay, yeah. For a while there, I was getting nervous. You said, just between me, Joe, and Connor, he was saying, "Oh man, I think I lost the fucking shirt. I don't know what happened to it." So this is a relief.
Yeah, I discovered it like a few weeks ago. I was like, "Where the fuck have you been?"
I think Sean said it best on that episode. It left me just like Connor's shirt, sun bleached, wrinkled with a hole in the side.
I did say I'd still go see it though, but I had to be extremely fucked up to enjoy it.
Yeah, sun-stained, a stretch collar, and a hole in the side.
That's what it is. Yeah. It is one of my favorite episodes, though.
Hey, you know what? We got some interesting characters out of it.
Yeah.
We got Sam.
Yeah, I got us. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got the Sam Worthington patented scream.
Yeah.
Is it a scream or is it like a yelp?
I don't even know what the hell you want to call it. He sounds like Link if Link got put in a fucking meat grinder.
If you dipped Link into boiling water, that's the sound he would make.
I'm still thinking about the ending of that film, how fucking Liam Neeson, a.k.a. Zeus, just like, everyone you love's dead. Here's Gemma O'Brien and not the rest of your family.
Hey, here's your dad whose corpse is literally 100 feet that way. I'm not going to bring him back.
Isn't it Gemma Arterton? Is that her name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Gemma Arterton.
Gemma O'Brien at just out of us.
Gemma O'Brien, I think, is actually a graphic designer.
Oh, man. Dude, no, that is one of my favorite episodes, though. There's some good conversation in that episode.
Yes,
a lot of funny
yes.
jokes, in my opinion.
Liam Neeson being a piece of shit in that film. Just basically being Qui-Gon.
He is a fucking scum dog in that, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's me, Ralph Fiennes.
The boy who lived.
Avada Kedavra.
The most tired sounding Ray Fiennes I've ever seen.
Yeah. We've talked about it a little already, but the next film on this list was Reign of Fire.
Yes.
Starring Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey.
Which
I think we all liked.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because I went into that wanting so much more and didn't get any of the things that I wanted. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think it's fine. It's very middle of the road.
I like McConaughey's fucking performance.
Oh, he was great. He's fucking eating that. He's fucking eating that scenery up, boy.
Time is a flat circle, man.
Fucking time's flat circle. When you fucking get that dragon and they put that big boy right in the middle there. It's all about it, man. It's fucking dragon time. Here we go.
And actually, after some time had passed, I was like, I don't think I hated that, but I certainly didn't like it.
Sure.
Yeah, it had to grow on you a little bit, and I get it.
I mean, that's happened with me, like, back in season 1 especially when, I saw a monster in the closet. That one always comes to mind that I just totally despised that film. And then I saw way worse movies, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just not for me, but it's not horrible.
I thought that was always hilarious because you blew your wad on that, saying, like, this is the worst movie ever.
And then I think we did House of the Dead, like, the next week or a couple weeks later.
I think you totally retconned that in the next episode.
Yeah, it's like you had not yet begun to suffer. And you're like, this movie gets its own dumpster.
Monster in the Closet's a good movie.
I mean, I think I have the list in front of me. We did Frankenstein Unbound after that, and then Dungeons and Dragons, which we recorded, I think, 2 or 3 fucking times because of technical errors.
No, Dungeons and Dragons was a torturous movie.
We had to record that movie fucking twice.
Yeah, that was rough.
And I remember being so upset that I had to watch it again and talk about it. I have this weird thing where, like, once I say something about a movie, like, I don't feel like I need to say it again. Does that make sense?
Right, no, I get that.
In an extended format.
Yeah. But Reign of Fire, I don't know what else to really say. It was a fun movie. It was a good episode, in my opinion.
Could have been better. Well, as far as the movie goes, could have been better, but it's fine. The episode was pretty good.
Right. It was also the return of Bale, Christian Bale, who's going to, I want to save him a little bit because he's going to be more prominent in a movie we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's Sam Worthington, too, believe it or not.
Oh, I forgot he's in that movie, too. No, not him. Gerard Butler was in Reign of Fire unexpectedly.
Gerard Butler from Angel Has Fallen. Hello, I'm Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Oh, my God, I forgot about that.
I'm in the MDU somewhere, fucking around. I don't know where, though.
He's busy fighting a giant weather machine, okay?
Or whatever. See ya.
All I know is this next film was fucking amazing, and it was called Deep Rising.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up, this was, this was a movie I'm so mad that I never got around to sooner in my life, and this wasn't the first time I'd seen it. It was the first time I'd seen it all together in one sitting, because I'd never seen it in one sitting, and having done that, I was telling people the next day, I was like, "Have you ever seen this movie, Deep Rising? You fucking should."
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's a staple of fucking giant monster movies for sure, and or sea monster movies, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it made me completely reevaluate Treat Williams, because he's a delight in that movie, and I didn't know he was like that good.
Yeah, yo, he's fucking awesome.
I mean, Kevin J. O'Connor is so good in that it made me go out and seek other Kevin J. O'Connor films.
Yeah, Famke Janssen.
Her too.
Yeah, who else is in that? Wes Studi.
Side note, Master of Illusion, they're both in.
Lord of Illusions is great too.
Right. But Deep Rising, yeah, I like our spin on it towards the end there where we said they all ended up on the fucking island where Shao Kahn had Mortal Kombat.
Even though it's actually Skull Island.
Yeah.
Like in canon.
Honestly, that happened because Kano was in that fucking film. T-Ray, if you will.
They're islands in the same chain. They're just all there.
Yeah, T-Ray didn't die. He just comes back with a metal plate in his face. Hello, baby. Did you miss me?
I've studied all your moves.
Famke Janssen fucking shoots him in the dick.
And after that joyous film, romp, whatever you want to refer to it as, we had
Rip Roaring Good Time.
Yeah. After that followed, I thought Dragon Ball Evolution was the worst film we did this year, and then came along Pluto Nash.
Fuck this movie.
The worst film I think we've ever done. I think it beats out House of the Dead. I think it has to.
Well, yeah, because like House of the Dead is like there's something kind of like sideshowy about Uwe Boll where you're like, wow, someone let you do this.
Right, like even Devon's Ghost, it has some merit where like the fights are kind of cool, even though it doesn't make any sense that they're just everyone knows karate, but like it's at least entertaining.
Here's the thing. Devon's Ghost is an independent film.
Well, right.
Home Alone 4 was a made-for-TV movie, so it kind of doesn't count. This is a full-blown blockbuster film that made it to theaters.
That Eddie Murphy spent his own money making.
Yeah, so like this puts it in a whole nother fucking arena.
It fucking tanked his career. It caused Dolomite to not get made for like fucking 15 years.
Yeah, and as a comedy, it's one of the most painfully unfunny experiences I've ever had to sit through. There's like not a single joke lands with the exception of like maybe one or two.
Oops.
Oh god, the fucking French maid.
Yeah, it's dull and it's kind of gets nonsensy at the end, and there's people who should be, acting and they're just asleep.
It's dog shit. It's really bad. It's poor filmmaking. Poor for all the funny people that are in that film. It's not funny. It's just. It's sad.
It's hard for me to say a movie is objectively terrible.
Yeah.
But Pluto Nash is objectively terrible.
Yeah.
And I stand firm in that stance. Like I don't think it has any redeeming qualities.
Totally agree. And it's unfortunate. It's sad to see. It's sad to watch that movie and just watch fucking Eddie Murphy degrade the whole film.
Yeah.
It just turns to dust by the time it ends.
Yeah, well, he gets thrown out a fucking window or something. Or this clone.
I guess.
From a fucking, what, a femur? What is it? From his liver, pancreas,
from his kidney or his pancreas or something stupid like that.
Yeah, we cloned you from it, but I'm a totally different type of person. Because Alec Baldwin trained me. WZW.
Fuck that movie, dude. It sucks.
I do like that we got Zone's old C's Austin out of that.
Yeah, the World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
Zulk Sogan.
Zandre the Giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good one.
The Big Show's father.
The Big Slow? Okay.
Yeah. We have this next pick, kind of shoehorned in between two bad films, but The 13th Warrior.
Man.
Thank God for this movie, because...
This is also one of my top 5 movies that we've done, or episodes rather. It was such a great thing to kind of re-experience, right? Because I think I had mentioned that I've only seen bits and pieces of it. And then sitting down with it, man, it was so enjoyable. It was really good. And I still haven't gotten a chance to go read the Michael Crichton book that it's based off of, but I definitely want to this year. That's on my list. Yeah, I had a great time with that episode, and I think we all had a really good time with that episode.
I love that movie. I love that episode. And that's one of my in the 2 years we've done this, one of my favorite discoveries of a movie that kept flying constantly underneath the radar for me.
Yeah.
And I'm again super mad I slept on it for so long because I didn't know what the fuck it was about. For a long time I thought it was a fantasy film. It's not at all.
Right.
I mean it's not. It's like pseudo history, but you know what I mean. It's not fantasy. And then I watched it and I was like, this is just so fucking my shit. Like, I love all of this.
It's satisfying as hell.
Yeah.
I think I remember I liked that movie, but I did not love it. But solid ass film.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is that like a couple days ago, I booted up Skyrim because every now and then I get that bug, and then I walk onto I think it's Windhelm, the city, and
Oh yeah, we were talking about that.
Ulfric Stormcloak's sitting there, and all of a sudden the voice of that movie's Beowulf comes out of that body, and I was like, God, I forgot he's fucking in this game.
Yeah, Vigo.
Yes.
Damn, forgot about that. I wish I could forget about this next film.
Whoo, boy.
Our friend of the show, Arlen Harrow, unfortunately also had to sit through this fucking hot mess. The Green Lantern.
To cap that, this was our last bomb that dropped, wasn't it?
It was a fucking bomb.
Sure was.
Yeah.
It was a fart to go out on. I'll tell you what.
This movie is like has a weird history, especially pertaining to what we do at Phantom Zone, because the writer and producer of this movie basically this obviously bombed. This was supposed to be the Kickstarter of the DC film universe, and this movie just fucking died because it's bad. But out of the ashes of this movie, Greg Berlanti and Guggenheim went on to lead the CW's DC show network, and that's been their baby ever since. So I'm glad they got a redemption story out of it. And that universe is thriving while their film universe is stagnating.
And you have only said nice things about the TV shows, which I don't watch.
There's some bad quality stuff that pops up every now and then, but overall, like, I've had a blast with all those shows. So
we all know how it worked out for Ryan Reynolds. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it cost fucking Warner Brothers probably a shit ton of money. But hey, almost everybody came out of that okay. Except I still feel bad for Mark Strong. Still the perfect Sinestro. I'm just gonna keep saying that.
He's the best part of that movie, easy. And just for somebody, again, and I had mentioned on the episode, that's my whole stance on that episode, is I'm not a fan of Green Lantern. I don't really know too much about him. And just that, and because of that, even just watching the film as kind of like my first in-depth
exposure,
in-depth take on Green Lantern as a whole, it's just not good. It's a mess.
No.
It's a mess just from a filmmaking point of view, and storytelling point of view. So I could imagine why this pissed so many people off in general.
yeah.
I do like where Michael Clark Duncan says Poozer. Like, I'm into that.
That's what Sean's here for, Poozer.
Yeah, Poozer. Kilowog, man. Great character. They fucked it up.
Yeah, they just fucking put him right in the background.
We go from that. Right, I didn't even realize that till just now. We had 2 back-to-back episodes with guests. We had Mr. Boogedy coming up next for Trick or Trash with Matt Curione.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with the most incompetent ghost I've ever seen.
Yeah.
As I've said before, that ghost is a thundering dumbass.
Slimer would body this guy.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Slimer doesn't even have legs, and he would kick this guy's ass.
Yeah, this movie was, again, kind of like what Joe was saying for Home Alone 4. Not that I'm comparing the two, but it was a made-for-TV movie. It's for kids. It's kind of like of the Hug-a-Bunch variety, I would say.
Or it's a failed pilot, depending on what you read.
Yeah, right.
That's one of the best takes in that fucking episode. We're fucking Matt calls you out on that.
It's not even like I made that up. Like, I was like, yeah, it's like a failed pilot. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, sorry, boogity expert.
He's a proud boogity expert. He says he watches it a lot.
He is a proud boogity expert. I'm kind of lukewarm on that one. I didn't watch that one growing up as a kid, so, I mean, the nostalgia's not built in for me. I mean, it's fine. It's Disney Channel original.
I mean, I would be interested to see it not a bad VHS rip, so maybe one day on Disney Plus I'll pop it on just to see.
I popped on the Disney Plus version, and it's not any better. They didn't, clean it up or anything. It's just there.
All right, well, you did the work for me, Joe.
Even Disney doesn't give a shit.
No, it's there. You can watch it if you want. I mean, I don't need to watch it.
No, you know what? You just caused me not to even bother, so thank you.
You're watching on Disney Plus, and a tracking line goes up the screen, real quick.
It just kind of blows my mind because, now I've heard of Mr. Boogedy. I think I watched it one other time with my buddy Chris Barr. I'm pretty sure we did. But it just never really came up in the circle of my friends or even on social media until this year. And then it was a big thing and everybody's like, Mr. Boogedy, Mr. Boogedy, Mr. Boogedy. And I'm like, I haven't seen you motherfuckers say one goddamn thing about this ever. And maybe I just didn't see it at the time, but it just happened. I just happened to be seeing everything this year.
And you're the guy who's telling me about fucking fuzz buckets. So if you don't know about it, what's going on?
Well, that's the thing, right? I feel like I should have known about it earlier, and I just didn't. I don't know. It's one of those weird things.
Right? Yeah.
Matt Curione. You can check out his podcast, Monsters Never Die, that he does with his buddy.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
It's really good stuff. They talk about the classic monster films and the newer remakes and all the stuff in between. Good shit.
Episode 27, guys. The creation of another wizard. Demonic Toys.
This is my favorite. Okay, so remember when I was like, oh, Cybo Man and another character? It's Charnetsky the Brown, dude. Easy. Easy.
He's in my top 5. I have somebody else that might put him away, but we'll come to that by the end of the episode.
I was amazed at how many other times we could slide him into an episode. Like, once Salvation started, I was like, oh my god, it's like every 5 minutes I can bring this guy up.
Well, because it's Terminator, so it kind of works like hellishly well.
Yeah.
I don't think I ended up loving that movie, but a lot of it really works. And I have to just say, the thing I remember the most is not even from the movie. It's Connor saying that this lump of shit was yeeted over a kid's shoulder.
If the phrase "he Luke Skywalkered it" becomes a thing, I'll happily take credit for it. Fuck this.
That is one of the hardest times I've laughed throughout the entirety of the first and second seasons when you were describing all of that. So that really sticks out for me. But Demonic Toys as a whole, I mean, it was so cool to finally do a full moon movie.
Yes.
Which Full Moon is near and dear to me. And like the Puppet Master series.
Well, it was a great excuse not only to talk about Demonic Toys, but also to just talk about Full Moon.
Sure, and John Carl Buechler is in there doing effects. And,
doing all the puppets.
And David Allen doing stop motion stuff. Everything. I just really love Demonic Toys. I feel like Demonic Toys was peak Full Moon easy. And then it just kind of went downhill from that point. I mean, you get a couple good ones in there, but pretty soon we're doing Curse of the Puppet Master, and it's like
the littlest fucking Reich.
Evil Bong and all that shit. Like, you can keep that Full Moon.
This next film, near and dear to my heart, but I don't think Joe and Connor felt the same way. Kenan and Kel, two heads are better than none.
This was fine.
Yeah.
It's difficult going back and, like, absorbing Nickelodeon from that time period as a 30-year-old, because you're like, oh, man, I don't know if I have the patience for this anymore.
Thanks for the catch-up!
It didn't hold up well for me.
I feel like I had those rose-tinted glasses on, and I was kind of just letting shit that usually would ruin a film for me, like, go.
No, that's fine. But no, because in the same breath, I'm going to say that, like, I fired up the fucking Are You Afraid of the Dark DVDs not too long ago. Like, especially during that month, during the Trick or Trash month for Halloween. And
how do they hold up with Mr. Sardo and the gang?
Oh, it's Sardo.
I was waiting for that.
They're all good. No.
Man.
I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say the first and second season are solid all the way through. Once you hit 3, it gets dicey. And then it's like 1 or 2 episodes that are good, and then some of them are whatever. Whereas I feel like as far as Kenan and Kel and Are You Afraid of the Dark go comparatively, I feel like Kenan and Kel is a little bit more mature than Are You Afraid of the Dark is, which sounds kind of weird because it's the horror show, right?
Right.
But I feel that's how I feel about Kenan and Kel, and by that time, and Kenan and Kel are like older in
Well, right, it is the last episode of that TV show,
and I don't know, it just doesn't hold up as well as some other stuff, as some other Nickelodeon stuff does.
Hey, but you gotta agree, watching Ken Foree get electrocuted twice by lightning is pretty hilarious.
It has its moments for sure. Ken Foree, every moment Ken Foree's in is fucking gold.
I mean, let's be honest, the MDU connections alone between that and Sid Haig, fucking make that episode for me.
Oh my god, when you fucking brought that up, I fucking died. I was like, holy shit, I totally forgot that he's in Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, man, just that man fucked a chicken.
He sure did. And Michael Berryman, yeah. I'm not a chicken fucker.
Yeah, Berryman's there too, man.
Yeah, and he's in that too, yeah.
Yeah, he's there with Ken Foree when they're buying the chickens.
Sure is.
And then the last film, which I think we can all agree was pretty fucking rockin'. Don't kick me off the show. Trick or Treat.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're fired. Trick or Treat fucking, I mean, what is there to say about it? It's amazing. It's like
awesome.
I think it's one of the best, it's like top 10 horror for me, like, of all time.
If I had to replace like a face on the like slasher villain Mount Rushmore with Sammy Kerr, I would.
Oh, hell yeah.
I like that character so much, and I'm like almost kind of glad that like he's preserved in this one little movie that you can't fuck with. But at the same time, I'm almost like, we could get more of that guy. Like,
it's always good.
You get that fucking ray gun from Richie Rich and you just shoot fucking Chucky or Jason right off the side and just replace him with Sammy Kerr.
Oh my God, Richie Rich, there's one.
But at the same time, knowing that actor passed away, I don't think I'd want anybody to do that again, because it's just like, I think his performance is perfect.
No, if it's not Tony Fields, I don't need it. Sorry.
Right.
He was perfect.
It's still eerie how close to the age of the character that he was when he actually passed.
I know, that blew me away when I
think it was within a year or two, right?
Yeah. Well, as far as like how old he was, yeah.
It was like early to mid-30s, like both characters died. Or both the character and the person.
I think he says 34 in the movie, and then he died when he was 36 in real life.
Yeah.
Maybe Tony Fields went into that movie, and that's why it's so good.
Yeah, I could see it.
You know?
Episode 30, guys. Terminator Salvation. A film I didn't know we would ever even talk about.
No, and I think that episode for me is up there, too. Have I said 5 already?
Little spoilers. It's my number 1.
Is it your number 1?
Oh, shit. Really? That's sincerely surprising.
Yeah, man. I love that episode because we got to talk about fucking Terminator for 2 hours.
Yeah. It was just fun to talk about all that stuff. It was a little off the beaten path, you know what I mean? Because we're usually talking about, like, obscure horror movies and stuff on here. But this was a weird year because we did, you know, the blockbuster bombs thing and even the Terminator. And, you know, we're not going to mince words here. Like, we'll do something that's conducive to what's popular at the moment, but in a weird way, right? So, like,
yeah.
So, like, when the Child's Play remake came out, like,
right.
What were we going to do? Child's Play, the first one? No, we're going to do the oddball of the whole fucking series, which is 3, you know?
Right, yeah.
And the same thing goes for Terminator, you know? What are you going to do? Terminator Genesis or 3? No.
Well, especially after we had done Clash of the Titans, we were kind of, like, talking behind the scenes, like, man, like, maybe we should just do Salvation so we can really just, like, flesh out this Sam Worthington character, and I think we did.
That too, but it was very much about, like, well,
Dark Fate for sure.
Yeah, it was about the Dark Fate coming out, but it was also like, well, what is the Terminator movie right now that everybody doesn't like or gets a bad rap? And it was like, oh yeah, remember Salvation? And I think we can credit that to Connor for being like, let's do Salvation.
Yeah,
it was a movie I remember being really fucking excited for in the theaters, and the initial theatrical experience was like a little disappointing because it just didn't have enough of what I really craved from it. But going back and revisiting, I was like, this is a fun apocalyptic, you know, war movie.
Well, I think that's the movie where like everybody was like, where the fuck's Arnold? And then all of the shit that came after it was the nightmare, right?
It still fucking kills me that James Cameron is going to sit there and say that it's a piece of shit when in every interview after he did T2, he was like, if they want to make another one, they should do the war. They should do the fucking war. And then it's like it comes out, don't go see it. Yeah. It sucks. Fuck you, James Cameron.
Yeah, fuck you. Then now he's here in fucking 2019 like, Dark Fate is the best Terminator movie since the last one that I did.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you and your fucking Avatar movies that are never coming out.
There's so many interviews out there for Dark Fate. I don't want to talk about this too long.
Yeah.
But where the director is basically blaming Cameron, and there's interviews where Cameron's blaming the director, and it's like nobody can get their fucking story straight why this film just was a major flop.
Dude, it's a cash grab. Don't even fucking try to bullshit me.
I mean, for crying out loud, when Linda Hamilton went on like one of the late night shows of like, so how's the film? She's like, it's okay. And everyone laughed, but like if you read her body language, I don't think she was lying.
No, she wasn't, because it's just whatever. Like, fine, if you like Terminator, I guess you're gonna like it, but we don't need it.
All those sound bits and video clips of the Game of Thrones cast after it ended, everyone's like, how was it? And they're like, it's the best thing ever. Yeah. And they just walked away.
And I kind of want to say this here to anyone listening that just thinks that we're bitter or we're just kind of jaded, and that's not the case at all. Listen,
no, not at all.
If you like Dark Fate or you like Terminator 3, just to kind of, you know, thread the needle on the Terminator line, sure. We here pretty much, I think, unanimously agree that those two films suck ass, but who are we to tell you what you can enjoy? Now, we may
of course not
think you're fucking crazy just as I'm sure some of the films we've done for this show and enjoyed you may think we're fucking nuts for enjoying. But it's, it's all a matter of opinion. And I think Joe's talked about this specifically on the show, how, we're also kind of chalking some of this up for comedy's sake, but at the end of the day, it's just our opinion.
Yeah, and like Sean just said, like this also is a comedy podcast, right? Like, the comedy element comes in because, like, what are we gonna do? Just fucking,
Well, I also think, like, and I don't want to be like, too nihilistic here, but I think we're all pretty fucking funny when we get on the podcast and start talking to each other. I think it kind of comes naturally.
Sure, I guess what I'm saying is there's so many other podcasts out there doing movies, and we kind of want to make it a little bit more fun, and we want to talk about the movies, you know what I mean? So yeah, we give the movies a hard time, we bust their balls, but we like them for the most part, right?
Yeah.
But as far as us saying something sucks and you being like, that's not true, again, like, that's your opinion, it's our opinion, and I think the thing we want to encourage is to not just say things suck. Have a reason. If you like it, fine. Tell me why you like it or why you don't like it. Let's have an intelligent conversation about it. I mean, we just happen to have dirty mouths, so it sounds like we're like, yeah, fucking motherfuck that fucking thing, piece of garbage shit. But
right.
We're also, I mean, if you do listen in between the lines, if you can do that, you know what I mean? We are having a conversation that can play to both sides, and like, I can see Sean's point of view on something, and I can see Connor's point of view, and still disagree with them, you know what I mean? But also, we can talk about why they like something, why they don't, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
Right, and I think we're also pretty open that we're not going to sugarcoat anything that we don't like. Just like we talk praise upon praise about films like that we did like Terminator Salvation, that we all kind of agreed was like, it doesn't make any sense why people just overlook this film because of how well it's made. Just because Christian Bale got into an argument behind the scenes and it turned into this big fucking thing.
Yeah, and that's this movie's legacy. Well, that's the movie where Christian Bale freaked out. Okay, like, if you want to be reductive, sure.
Exactly.
Remember when Family Guy fucking made fun of it like a week after it happened, and it was just a fucking still shot of a recorder moving with Peter Griffin talking? Remember that?
Oh, so a Family Guy sketch.
Oh my God, you just nailed it, Connor. That's how everybody remembers it. And I think even said in that episode that, like, I saw everybody doing their Terminator rewatches and nobody was watching Salvation. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's like the best one after 1 and 2, you know?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, but even Dark Fate, like, I don't like that movie, but I can acknowledge the fact that it's a well-made movie. The choreography is really cool. Some of the concepts are neat in it. I just don't need it. Like, I don't need Linda Hamilton or Arnold anymore, you know? And that's cool if you do, but I disagree with it, you know what I mean? But I'm also not saying it's a piece of shit. But I think Terminator 3, however, is 5 steps backwards from T2. In terms of filmmaking and storytelling and effects and all kinds of shit. I think Terminator 3 is straight up just a poorly made movie in general. Yeah, it's not funny, it's not cheeky, it's stupid. But that's my opinion.
Episode 31.
Uh-oh.
Our Thanks Garbage episode of the year. Last year we did Home Sweet Home starring Body by Jake and Mistake. This year, a much better film, Blood Rage.
Leaps and bounds above Home Sweet Home, easy.
Hey, you could actually see what was happening at the end of the film.
Yeah.
That, and like, I gave a shit about what was going on screen half the time in Home Sweet Home. Like, look, I'm just waiting for a large man to jump off screen and smush you. That's what this whole movie is.
Body slam someone under a car hood, right?
Yeah, it's just ambush body slams is that entire film.
Because all those characters are terrible.
Yeah.
In Home Sweet Home. But I think it has its charms, you know what I mean? I think you should see Home Sweet Home at least once if you can get through it.
Yeah.
But Blood Rage,
I would recommend probably watching once a year, honestly.
Every year, man. It's definitely in the fucking rotation.
I mean, I watched it twice.
Yeah.
I watched it for the episode, and my girlfriend was kind of like, you know, every once in a while coming in the room looking at it like, oh man, this is pretty good. And after we recorded the episode, we went back and I watched it with her.
Yep.
And she loved it too. So I don't really know what to say about that movie without just saying, hey, fucking watch it.
Yeah, like it's a fucking fantastic slasher movie.
I watched it twice too. We watched it for the show, and then I watched it again while I was editing the episode Thanksgiving night.
I watched it twice because I have the memory of a dying Alzheimer's patient. So
don't say that.
I would even maybe argue. I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but like we talked about on the Black Christmas episode, how it was a very underrated film in the sense of like casual horror fans probably have never heard of it. And of course, like, people that are super into horror are probably like, oh, what are you talking about? This is a classic.
Yeah, right.
I think Blood Rage is kind of in that same territory where a lot of casual fans of the genre are just like, what the Blood Rage? What are you talking about? What is that?
Oh, I know a lot of people haven't fucking heard of it. I mean, with the advent of the internet, it's a little different. But I remember before this movie hit, before Arrow had put it out, I think it was Arrow. Was it Arrow? Yeah, I think Arrow had put it out, like a 3-disc deluxe special edition Blu-ray. Like, you could only get it on tape or like bad VHS rips. And I don't think a lot of people had even seen it. I mean, I know people, like, again, like you said, like in the horror community have seen it, but like like most people don't know what the fuck this movie is.
Yeah, I think I even talked about it was either on that episode or the Black Christmas episode. I was talking about how I wasn't like a major horror fan probably until I was like in my late teens, early 20s. Mm-hmm. So I definitely at one point fell into that category. So there's definitely got to be people in the same scenario. But Blood Rage. Goddamn, what can you say?
It's also one of those things too. Like, if you've never even heard of Blood Rage, like, we encourage you to go check it out. That's kind of one of the other points of this show, right? To kind of unearth.
Right.
It's Movie Dumpster because we're rummaging through cinema's garbage. Meaning you're not going to find the fucking Irishman here, right? You're not going to find fucking
right.
Casablanca here. You're going to find the bottom of the barrel shit that gets tossed to the fucking side that most people have never heard of or just kind of threw away, right? And we're kind of unearthing these gems. Like the Runestone. I'm sure a bunch of people that I know have seen that film, but I'm sure a lot of people never fucking heard of it, and they should go check it out,
Right, and I was one of those people last year.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you say rummaging through cinema's garbage. It's like, every once in a while you found like that gold ring that got mixed in with the fucking trash compactor.
Right. I feel like we're those old ladies from Labyrinth that put all the fucking, but instead we're like putting like VHS tapes on our backs. Oh, yes. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Blood Rage. Okay. Oh, Black Christmas. Oh, yeah, okay. Make yourself up. But yeah, and I can't stress enough, just while we're on the topic right now, like, I can't stress enough that, like, the name of the show might throw you off, like, oh, movie dumpster. Oh, they shit on movies because they think they're stupid. They're cynical assholes. And it's like, no, dude, that's, like, not the fucking point of this show. And I've said it multiple times. We've said it multiple times through different episodes. And if you don't listen to the show, then you wouldn't fucking know what it is, right? You would, or if you do listen to it, you do know that that's the case. But
I think if you don't listen to the show and you decided to make the wrap up episode your first one, you're probably confused.
Yeah,
just a bit.
But maybe it'll spark something in you to go check out some old episodes.
Yes, or if not the episodes, at least the movies. I mean, we'd honestly love you to listen to the episodes, but hey, check the fucking movies out at least.
Yeah, at least watch the movies, please. Or listen to the episode and then watch the movie.
Yeah, or whatever order makes you feel comfortable.
Oh yeah. Watch the movie and then listen to the episode. That way you're fresh.
Sometimes we record the episode and then I watch the movie. Don't actually do that, but
I think that would be a hell of a. What are you, John Hurt? You are, aren't you?
That was I'm going to mention Arlen briefly here again. He does another show called, I think it's called
Los
Horros. And I listened to one of his episodes. Sorry, Arlen, if I'm thrown into the bus here a little bit, but he did an episode like on old horror films or something, and he starts talking about a movie, and his co-host is like, I thought we were doing The Wolfman.
the Wolfman.
And Arlen's like, oh, are we? All right, I'm just going to have to, he's like, just start talking. I'm going to have to just try to remember The Wolfman while you explain the plot.
His it's funny because his friend Eric, the one he does a show with, is he's French Canadian and is like, he's seen a criminally limited list of horror films. So a lot of the time, Arlen is whisking him through these for the first time.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It jumped in mind because I check out his podcast every once in a while, and that one stood out to me.
I think he might have a mild freak out if he hears this.
We go from Blood Rage into trashing through the snow.
Yep, right into the Christmas season.
With a film Connor pitched us on saying, yeah, it's something from my childhood. It's pretty heartwarming.
Oh, God.
Question mark, dude.
Ate my foot on that one.
You had both fucking Santa boots in your mouth.
I had an ankle deep in my throat in that one. Prancer dresses itself up as like a wholesome family Christmas movie that is just misery from start to finish. There's very little happiness throughout, and then at the end, it's like, look, the magic of Christmas. Maybe, not really. Get out, bye.
Hey, did you grow up in the Bible Belt? This is the movie for you.
In the poor section.
Yeah, down the street from fucking Clark Griswold.
Yeah, man. Oh, real quick, deviating real fast. Speaking of Clark Griswold and what's his name? Galecki. What's his name?
It is something Galecki. I forget.
Anyways, whatever Galecki. The kid from Roseanne. He was just in a movie with Angelica Houston called The Cleanse, and I don't know if that was 2018 or 19, but that was a very good film.
Hey, man, he's coming off all that Big Bang Theory money.
Yeah, man, and that was a really good independent film. And the guy who directed that new Critters, and I'll tell you what, shouldn't have fucking done it because it sucks. The movie, mind you, not the series.
Some mistakes were made.
Big mistake.
Prancer, I don't really have much to say about that.
Neither do I.
It's a fucking downer, straight up.
I kind of want to move right into episode 32, Elves.
Elfenhouten!
Yeah, the Elfenstone is at hand.
I can't think of a more terrible movie that we all had a better time with, because this movie is trash, but like it's kind of fun to sit and talk about afterward because it is that level of trash.
I mean, it's Dan Haggerty just mumbling to himself for 90 minutes.
Listen, man, I just need some Marlboros. It's fine. Just come on, just give me the...
I'm just out of my ass for a little while. It's okay.
Just give me the Elfenstone. That's all I want.
Haggerty, what's with all the fucking smoke clouds? I'm trying to hide from this crazy guy, Joe Buchanan.
Or cocaine clouds.
Oh my God. Okay, we gotta talk about that briefly.
Yeah, it was an article I found from Dread Central, but not the Dread Central that we know and love.
Yeah, and it
was like a knockoff, or somebody else called Dread Central. I don't know. Anyway, they did an effect, or it was like super early Dread Central before when they first started. But it was an article with an interview with the effects guy on Elves.
Yeah, basically he says that, I think it was towards the end of the movie is when this scene happens, because it's when he has to like roll on the floor or something, but Grizzly Adams fucking hits the floor. And it's described as a giant, thick, white cloud then surrounds him. And the realization dawns in the cast and crew that he just fell in a giant bag of cocaine that he had on him.
In his pocket.
I think the guy explains it like a cloud of snow just sprinkles down on Santa Claus.
Yeah, and then he said, like, it got really quiet, and then someone finally goes, okay, so Grizzly Adams does snow.
Listen, it was from the North Pole. Don't worry about it. It's my Santa snow.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I do it behind closed doors.
I just gotta have a little hit, you know?
Dan Haggerty, a.k.a. Mike McGavin, a.k.a. Haggerty the Blue.
Yep.
You know, with that blue robe tarnished with cigarette smoke stains.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he fits right in with the Wizards. You know, Joe, you started pitching us on that in the episode, and I was like, all right, I'm not seeing it. And then as the episode continued, it just made so much fucking sense.
Yeah, dude, we got three fat wizards.
I'm still thinking about that barbecue that Gunnar was having.
That's a good one.
With the Six Flags guy who, you know, which we didn't mention up until this point, but the Six Flags guy is GVD's side piece.
He's like an honorary MDU cast member. He's like
he's like
a crossover character who only comes in for special events. Like
he's like Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, he can beat Thanos just by dancing.
Right. You know what? I could see it.
Dr. Doom's like, all his dance moves vex me.
Oh, shit.
A side note, just another behind-the-scenes story that I read on that film. Kind of reminiscent of Ghost Shark, believe it or not, but the effects guy, I think it might have been that same interview, or this might actually be on his Wikipedia page, or the Wikipedia of Elves. But there was like multiple
puppets,
elf figures, puppets, yeah. And I don't know what the fuck the people that made this movie did, but they just totally shit the bed on it. Because he's like, yeah, we had these ones that the face moved and everything, and
so they had what's called like a hero puppet, and they had like a stunt puppet, but they also had like a close-up head. Like that's the way they did a lot of the effects in Gremlins 1 and 2. Was like when you see Gizmo real close up and his face moves really well, it's actually a giant puppet, right? It's an enlarged head. So they did the same thing for this movie, and I think he even mentions that, like, that they did some of the same things that Gremlins did. With that, they had a big elf head that like emoted really well, and then they had another puppet that was an animatronic. Now, here's the thing: they had the one puppet they had like got all fucked up because like the lip mechanism on it, like the regular size, not the giant head, but like the lip mechanism got fucked up on the smaller puppet, and it like tore the foam latex off the face. So he had to like repair it really quick, like that night before they were shooting the next day, and because of that, the top lip was pushed up and like always like agape, like the mouth was always agape.
Yeah, it constantly looked like it was going.
So like Sean said, there was fucking like 3 or 4 other puppets plus that big hero puppet to like show the close-ups of and like do all the facial expressions, and they didn't fucking use any of them except the fucked up one.
Yeah, and the guy who did the effect was like mortified when he saw the film.
Like, what? Are you an idiot? Like, why?
Yeah, what's the logic there? Well, all the other ones' mouths aren't just stuck open, so it's not going to look right.
Yeah, well, we don't need it. It's fine. Whatever. We're just going to shake it in front of the fucking lens.
Fuck it, we'll hobgoblin it.
Well, oh God. And well, that's the thing. That's the thing with that too. Like, I would have loved to. I think Elves itself, like the movie, could have been way better if all of those effects were in there. You know, like good like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a total garbage fire.
No, I mean it is a bad movie, but like I think it could have definitely been a better experience with better effects.
It could have pushed it from like a 1-star to a 2-star.
Oh no, or at least it would go up a lot for me if the effects were better. Because like I said in that episode, like all the elves are sculpted really well and they look really good, but they're just static garbage because they used the wrong fucking puppet the whole time.
Yeah. It's a disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace.
Also, real quick, I think I compare the elf to looking like Jerry Seinfeld getting thrown in toxic waste in the episode.
Yes, Toxic Avenger style.
Yeah, we said he was the mutated man from RoboCop who then gets hit by a car.
Yeah, scratch that, because the elf looks like fucking Brian James. That's what he looks like. Straight up.
Yeah, he does.
And if you don't know who Brian James is, he's in fucking The Horror Show. He plays the killer in that movie. He's in Cabin Boy. He's in Mutator. He's in a bunch of great B movies. If you don't know who Brian James is, look him up. And it's not Brian with an A, it's Brian with an O.
Oh.
You'll know exactly who the fuck he is when you see him. You'll be like, oh, that guy. And then look up a picture of the elf. And it's the same. That's what he looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. Side by side. And then our final film of the year, of season 2. We've already mentioned it. Black Christmas.
All-timer, baby.
At the risk of repeating myself, I would just say, like, this movie's fucking great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm glad we ended the year with it. It's probably one of my new favorite slasher movies, now that I've had a chance to reevaluate it as an adult. It's just, like, I don't know what else to say about it outside of what I said in the episode. It's such a delightful little, like I said, it's a murder mystery over a slasher. And it's got one of the best kick you in the nuts endings I've ever seen for a horror film that works so well, and I'm so glad they stuck with it. So,
especially for the time period too. Like this movie has a bunch of firsts for the whole genre and kind of gave birth to it. I mean, there's really, like Connor said, like there's not enough nice things to say about it. Also, we get to explore in that episode. We talk briefly about the 2006 remake and the 2019 remake. And you can go check out the episode if you want to hear us talk about that. But I just wanted to let you know that we do touch on those things. Kind of like the Terminator episode where we briefly, it's like half the episode for Terminator. We talk about like the whole
first 20 minutes.
We talk about
easy.
the whole series.
Well, I think that's what we kind of try to do on the show in general. Like if a film has a history or there's more information to be talked about, I think we most of the time go out of our way to like at least bring it up and see, what comes of it.
Well, that too. We're always dropping the behind the scenes nuggets too throughout the episodes, and we kind of like to elaborate on that, especially when there's like well-known people that have done other films in the arena that we enjoy, in the genre, what have you.
But that's season 2.
Yeah, that's season 2. Yeah.
Do you guys have favorite? Do you have a couple of favorites? Thinking back after kind of running that down a little.
Yeah, it's definitely for me. It's Super Mario Brothers, Bleeders, the 13th Warrior. What was the other ones? Jesus Christ, there's so many. There's 30-something episodes.
No, I get it.
Clash of the Titans, I think was one, and Lawnmower Man. I think those are my top 5 episodes.
I didn't pick 5, but I was trying to see if I could settle on one, and I couldn't do it. So
No, well, that's why I picked 5.
Yeah, same.
I think I have 3: Bleeders, Terminator Salvation, and Super Mario Brothers. Bleeders holds a very obvious special place in my heart because I had no idea that I would create this fucking monster of a character afterwards. Who I like. I'm just letting everyone know, like, the moment I get the chance to dress up as this fucking crazy old lady and do this in front of people, I'm going to. So.
Well, maybe we'll get a chance next year. Who knows? That'd be great.
Yeah.
Our first live show, that would be fucking nice.
Oh man,
I'd like to.
Let's work on that, man. I think my top. I mean, I kind of already said that probably my number 1 is Terminator Salvation that we did this year. But it's definitely a toss-up between that and our first episode of the season, Lawnmower Man, just because, like I said earlier in this episode, it was just a movie I heard nothing but shit about and then actually watched it and just really enjoyed it and the conversations that came out of that. And, of course, Cybo Man. How could you forget Cybo Man? But also, the other ones I liked the most, my top 5, I guess we'll say, Terminator Salvation, Lawnmower Man, Deep Rising, I enjoyed quite a bit. Super Mario Brothers, and Child's Play 3. And I think if we're purely going on the count there, I think Super Mario Brothers might be our season 2 best episode, just based on, I think all 3 of us had it on our list.
Yeah, I think so. We also had Terminator Salvation. I wanted to make an addendum and put Terminator Salvation on there.
It could be a 2-way tie.
It could be.
I think they're both pretty fucking solid ass episodes.
I think they're both solid ass episodes for different reasons.
I mean, you got King Koopa turning fucking that guy in a Cybo Man, for God's sakes. Monkey.
You get Cyberman Origins in the Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, and GBD's in there too, we said, with the shotgun. Gunner's going to the Koopahari Desert. There's a lot going on in that film.
There's a ton going on in that film.
And just, I mean, I don't want to do a rundown of season 1.
No, because we already did that.
But you guys got any favorites from that season? I got a couple that I wrote down that I just wanted to just mention.
Right away, the holiday switch.
Yeah.
One, because like I hadn't met Julie yet formally, and that was like the first time I like.
Yeah, shout outs to Joe's fiance, Julie Lockwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I got to interact with her, and 1, she's funny as fuck. 2, she's definitely the person you're supposed to marry.
Thank you.
And 3, like, I'm so that movie's a piece of shit, but to have someone who's not in the trio to bring forth that fucking buffet of bullshit was so fucking good. And there are some jokes in that movie that I forgot about. That are so fucking funny.
Side note, she was supposed to join us for the Black Christmas episode, but she wasn't feeling well that night, so she couldn't do it, and we needed to get it out. So unfortunately, that didn't happen, but she'll be with us again next year on something, I'm sure.
Right. We gave her a rain check. She can cash it in at any time.
I believe she wants to come back again for the Christmas holiday with one we were toying with this year but didn't get a chance to do.
Oh, man. I know the one you're referring to. Do you want to just tease it now? Fuck it.
I put the cookie down. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, my God, yes.
Man, I love that fucking movie. I've got 4 here that I wrote down that come to mind. I still think, because it's the one I listen to the most, even though it's a holiday film, I'm right there with it's not Holiday Switch, Connor, but it is a holiday film. It's The Christmas That Almost Wasn't. How could it not be?
That's on the top of my list, too. I think that's one of my favorite. I think that is my favorite episode as well.
The whole history I had with that film, and just, Joe, you fucking edit it beautifully, throwing all those prune fucking clips in there and the music.
I appreciate that movie has now, like, its legacy among us is like, yeah, it's like, remember how your childhood sucked, Connor? Here comes Sam Whipple.
Yeah, and you know what? That never, that wasn't an intention to turn that into a bit, but I am like really gracious that you kind of rolled with it and kind of made it work, Connor. I just have to say,
it makes me laugh every time it comes up.
It's made some of, I think, some of our funniest fucking bits is unfortunately your childhood that did not That wasn't roses, it sounds like.
It's fine. Now we can laugh at it.
Well, it's been many years.
And that's how you heal.
3 more I just wrote down, just thinking on this briefly earlier. Crocodile Hunter Collision Course. I think back on that episode fondly just because we got to talk about Steve Irwin for fucking an episode, and I love that guy. Baby's Day Out, just because a bad film, but a lot of fucking material. And The Runestone, because... like we mentioned earlier, it was a film I never even heard of and ended up loving it a lot. And now I kind of want to eat some Pez. Anybody want some Pez?
Best fucking candy in the world.
The real reason is because a werewolf dresses up like a cop to fool another cop, and that's why it's the best movie ever made.
Yes!
Officer Fenrir, dude.
And then Elves fucking brought it all the way back.
I think my 2 other ones I really like. I loved the mosquito episode. That was the birth of Gunnar Henson to the MDU.
Yeah, that I didn't write 5 for season 1, but that might be my number 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say Mosquito, and I really like A Gnome Named Norm because I just love that film so much, and I think there was a lot of good material on that too.
Robert Zadar and Zadar.
Robert Zadar, and Stan the Man Winston, dude. Like, you know, you hear about Predator and Terminator and all the other fucking great special effects achievements, and then you have A Gnome Named Norm, which he did the effects for and directed. So, it's pretty sweet.
Hey, you can't ever beat a snively cop staring down a gnome's penis. So
no, and I'm gonna agree with Sean on The Runestone, and I think my last one is Tammy and the T-Rex because that fucking movie rules. And not only that, but I got to meet Terry Kaiser this year and have him sign my tape. And then the next night, I went to go see the Vinegar Syndrome restoration with all the gore intact.
Man,
at the Philomoka. Well, they
still got to see it.
Yeah,
that to me was evidence that we might have an inkling of cosmic power. Because I think we said in the Tammy episode, like, man, it'd be really good to see all the gore that seems to be cut of this movie. The next year, that thing rolls around,
restored in 4 fucking K. Okay,
yeah,
and I think that's it. Yeah, I think those are my favorites from season 1.
You guys want to talk about your favorite MDU characters of the year?
I already told you, man. It's a tie.
Oh boy,
I really think it's the Wizards, like collectively.
Oh man, that's a little unfair, man. You got GVD versus the Wizards.
I know.
What's a buffet to Granny Van Daam?
Well, they're the only one that can stop her. They all have to come together to stop her, right?
Don't give away the plot for season 4.
Do you want me to? I have a little list here I wrote up. You guys feel free to jump in and correct me on any of this if I left anybody out.
Sure.
Some of these I'm just mentioning because I find their inclusion in the MDU funny. They may not actually be in this imaginary running that we're talking about here, but here we go. First off, I kind of combined anything that was from the same film just to give you guys a heads up. But we have Cybo Man and Job, where all the phones in the world rang at the same time as his battle cry.
Mm-hmm.
Granny Van Daam, of course, GVD. The Bartender. Howard the Duck. He's kind of in a weird spot where he popped up occasionally, so I think he counts.
Yeah, he was in that fucking sex dungeon in Cloris Leachman's house in Prancer. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Daniel Stern, again, like we talked about a little earlier, kind of came into his own character this season. Titanic 2, specifically the MDU version of Titanic 2, where the entire world was destroyed by super tsunamis.
The fabled T-Day.
Yeah, T-Day. Not to be confused with J-Day from Terminator. Let's be clear. And of course, you can't talk about Titanic 2 without talking about Bruce Davison just staring off into the distance blankly.
Yeah, Bruce Davison having a fucking memory dump.
Gunnar the White, of course.
He was Gunnar the Gray first.
Right.
And then he ascended in Drainiac.
And then at some point, don't remember the episode, whatever episode the Six Flags guy was introduced to this fucking madness.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
He also gained the Chicago Bears jacket.
Oh my God. That's one of my favorite bits when you're talking about him wearing a fucking Chicago Bears jacket, drinking a Budweiser.
It just fits so much, doesn't it?
It does.
Then we have, of course, the way I wrote this down was Charles Lee Ray. Reoccurring character. Also, Damballa occasionally showing up.
Yeah, he's one of the elder gods.
Unfortunately for the MDU. Like we were talking about earlier, Connor, here it is. I wrote it as a character. Yeah, Mario Brothers movie soundtrack.
It's a character.
It fucking is.
I love it.
Sam Worthington and Liam Neeson to a point.
Wait. If the Mario Brothers theme is a character, then so is Sam Worthington's scream.
I think that's what we're getting at here.
Yeah. I love how I keep saying this in this episode, so I hope I'm not making you uncomfortable, Joe, but I love how at the end of the fucking Terminator Salvation episode, you just put this like fucking minute-long stretch of every scream Sam Worthington does in that film.
It's a supercut of every scream from Terminator Salvation.
It got fucking amazing. Matthew, time is a flat circle, McConaughey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, this one's rough. Randy Quaid, the number 63, and the Oops robot, of course.
Oh no. They're the worst, aren't they? They're always fucking around.
Well, Pluto Nash got that 65, so Randy Quaid's getting shoved in a fucking bin somewhere.
Yeah. With his weird metal stub dick.
Oh my god, don't remind me of that fucking Jesus. Charnetsky the Brown, Haggerty the Blue, Grandpa Van Damme, and we finish it off with, of course, Mrs. Mac, a.k.a. the Drunken Galadriel. I think I got to whittle it down to GVD and Gunner, but when you say the Wizards as an entity, that's hard, man. I think it goes to GVD.
I don't know, man. Package deal for me, right? If if it's a top 3, it's a package deal with the Wizards, Cyberman, and GVD. Easy.
Yeah. Holy shit. I think that's it. I have to agree on all accounts there, Joe.
But like, if we had to pick one character,
that's hard. I think it's Granny Van Daam for me.
It's GVD. Easy.
I mean, like, at first I was like, do I vote for myself, essentially, in this category? And then later on I was like, no, fuck it. Like, I've had so much fucking fun portraying this batshit insane horny old lady with a shotgun. That all started because I was just fucking riffing in bleeders. And then she got a name and an origin, and people were memeing her.
Yeah.
And, there's people who listen to the show, her just bringing her up, and I was like, wow.
That fucking image on her Instagram that Good Enough Apollo did was amazing.
Serge Murillo is his name.
Yes.
Yeah. I have to go with Granny Van Daam because now at this point, it's evidence that I've given something to people they really enjoy, and I just fucking love it. I also have a blast doing it, so.
It's so good.
So I think it goes to GVD, and it just for shits and giggles, do we even need to say it? I think season 1 goes hands down to fucking John Hurt, with Daniel Baldwin with a country mile between them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, totally.
I don't know, man. He's right at his heels.
You think he's at his heels?
Yeah, in season 1, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
John Hurt took the fucking taco in the first season, for sure.
I think he was in just about every episode after Frankenstein Unbound. He might have skipped, like, maybe one.
That is the origin. Okay, so that's the origin of the MDU is that Frankenstein Unbound episode. So I think if you've never heard the show before and you're new to it and you're listening to this for whatever reason, and not one of the movie episodes first, definitely start with that one.
Yeah.
And then everything will kind of make a little bit more sense.
That and probably Yesterday's Target. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I'd say listen to every episode. Like we have said on this show, you got to go all the way back and listen to all the episodes to understand what the fuck we're talking about.
There's definitely core episodes though, and I think Frankenstein Unbound. What was it? In Pursuit?
Well, In Pursuit too, but specifically Yesterday's Target.
Yesterday's Target. Yes, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Because of course, anything with Daniel Baldwin on the show is just fucking comedy gold in my eyes.
Yeah. So we got what is it? Yesterday's Target, Frankenstein Unbound, Bleeders, Mosquito, Demonic Toys, Elves.
Ah man, it's hard to break it down that.
Oh my god, we'd be here for another hour trying to piece that together.
That's our core episodes, right?
Yeah.
It's like the core Marvel movies you need to watch to get everything else.
I would say Uncle Sam. I would argue Uncle Sam's got to be in there somewhere because even though that wasn't in my top episodes of season 1, it is a fucking amazing episode in my opinion, just because of where we went with that episode.
Well, I was just trying to the MDU lore to kind of collect all of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always place the characters from Uncle Sam, specifically Jody, Isaac Hayes, and Uncle Sam, into the MDU, but they don't ever leave a huge mark. They're always there. They're kind of like French Stewart in the background.
Sure. I'm talking about the heavy hitters, man.
Yeah, no, yeah. You make a good point there.
Yeah, so as we come to a close with season 2, we got some pretty cool stuff coming up for season 3. It's going to be one big change right out of the gate is we're going to be doing episodes bi-weekly. It gives us a little bit more time to give you guys better content, and it's a little bit easier on us, so we're not missing deadlines and stuff, because we all have full-time jobs, and we're trying to give you the best show we can. So that's how we're gonna split it up next year. There will be an occasion where we'll do like the Blockbuster Bombs month and the Trick or Trash and the Trashing Through the Snow, where we'll give you probably 3 to 4 episodes in a clip for the month.
Right.
But that's like special occasion kind of stuff.
I think the other thing about that's going to be nice, not only for us but for you guys listening, is that we'll be able to kind of, once we get this into a rhythm, there'll be no more guessing when the episodes are coming out. We'll be promoting them way ahead of time. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth here, but I think we're planning on having actual schedules either up on our website or in our social media once we do launch the 3rd season. At least with it, I think what we're talking about, maybe do a month blocks, maybe 2. We're still kind of finessing the semantics of it. We
have a cool idea that we were toying with even last year that we didn't get to launch last year or this year, so we're going to test that out this year. We're not going to tell you what it is because it's going to be a fun little thing that we want to kind of announce on our social media. So look us up there and keep an eye out. But yeah, it's just more consistent, I would say. More consistent, more uniform, so you guys can have a day to look forward and say, oh, okay, well, Movie Dumpster's coming out this day, right?
Right.
So you don't miss an episode or have to play catch up or what have you. So we're looking forward to that, and a lot more guests next year.
Yes. That's something, I think we kind of blew it out a little bit more this year. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think we had like maybe double the guests than we did in the first season.
We're going to bring everybody back and then some.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of want to get the Phantom Zone guys in one at a time over the course of the next maybe year or 2.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'd love that.
I don't want to drop too many breadcrumbs yet.
No, yeah.
Because I need to check availabilities and if people are still on board. But the first episode of the next season should be pretty special and a ton of fun. I don't want to drop the movie or who the guest is going to be, but it should be a really fun time, to say the least. And we didn't have time. So that's another thing. Like, we're also trying to make some time for things because we want to do like special stuff. Like we did the Trick or Trash contest this year with the video and everything, and that went super well, and with the hidden messages in the episodes, and everybody really liked that. It was really receptive, and we got a lot of entries and stuff, so that was a lot of fun. And I
don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to take a moment here to all the people that fucking sent in for the contest. And Joe, the fucking commercial, man, you killed it. You knocked it out of the fucking park, man.
Thank you.
Oh, totally.
I love interacting with you guys at home.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about this before, specifically on the Blood Rage Thanksgiving episode, but I'm honestly looking forward to more fan interactions in 2020.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I guess that's what that was my whole point. Like, we ran that contest, and we were going to run another one for December, but it's just a lot of work, a lot of extra work that we didn't have a lot of time for, unfortunately. But we are having a contest right now as we speak, and we're going to be closing that up after New Year's. But if you go to our Instagram and shoot us a DM and tell us what your favorite gift of all time was, or your best gift of all time was for Christmas, you'll be entered. We're going to pick 4 at random, and you get a holly jolly prize pack, including a Movie Dumpster ornament.
Oh, man.
What's also cool, I'm pretty psyched for that. It's pretty neat.
You can actually see what it looks like on our Instagram.
Yeah, you can.
And I fucking love it. I want one myself, Joe.
Thank you.
Wink, wink.
You'll be getting one. Merry Christmas. Only if you've been a good boy all year.
Ah, fuck.
But with that being said, we want to do more fun stuff like that for you guys, and like Sean said, interact with you guys. And please, if you don't like our opinion or you agree with us, like reach out to us. Tell us that we're fucking morons, or that you do agree, or what have you. I mean, we got a lot of good interactions this year, being it emails or like fan art or people just
or quote trailers from a film that we just totally shit on last year.
Oh shit! I mean, yeah, I've already talked about that, but that's still surreal.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome year for us. Just the response from everybody, because we've tried kicking it in a high gear this year. So we're gonna try to step it up again next year. We got a new website coming. We got a store coming. You're gonna be able to buy T-shirts and those movie dumpster ornaments that we're talking about, and stickers and all kinds of shit, and exclusive stuff. And of course the giveaways. I mean, we're always giving away shit. We love to do that. So yeah, keep your ears peeled, keep your eyes peeled. Tell your friends, tell everybody.
Yeah.
Share it. Please share it. Get everybody to listen. I think we're also going to launch a Patreon next year at some point. Things take time, folks, and unfortunately we're limited, but we try to do what we can. But that's definitely something we want to roll out too. Maybe kind of branch off and we tossed around doing live commentary tracks. If that's something you guys would be into, let us know. Almost like how they do it with riff tracks.
Right.
Can we say that on that?
Yeah.
Can we say that here? Riff track? Yeah, fuck it. We're not sponsored by anybody. we're our own fucking thing. But yeah, something like riff tracks where, you can get sign up for the Patreon and you can get a live commentary track for whatever movie that we happen to choose, or we can do like a fan choose thing, since it'll be like a experimental thing at first that we can try, and
other Patreon exclusive things, whatever they may be. We don't totally have that locked down yet, but you can imagine a few things, I'm sure.
Minisodes, merch, swag. There'll be some good stuff. It'll be worth it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We'll make it worth it for sure. And if you just want to donate to the show because you're just really nice people and you like what we're doing and you enjoy the show,
if you like us enough to just give us money, that's great.
I mean, we're still trying to get that Diet Pepsi fucking sponsorship from I think either Demonic Toys or Trick or Treat. It was one or the other.
It was Trick or Treat. Yeah, they haven't called back yet, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, even if it's like 25 cents, you know what I mean? That's something. And if 100 of you give 25 cents, we can easily pay for the hosting and all that shit, which would make our lives a lot easier every month.
Right.
So even that would be rad. So we'll see what happens. But season 3, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys are looking forward to it too.
I am. Anything else you guys want to mention going into not only a new year, but a new decade?
So we're still covering Christ on Infinite Earths over at Phantom Zone. We are letting the event breathe because it was split up for the 4th and 5th parts are coming in like a week or two. So we kind of didn't want to release an episode and then have people wait for, almost a month for the rest of it to come out. But we're going to jump on that.
Now, this is the big CW crossover event between all the different shows.
Yeah, this is the very ambitious televised adaptation of the classic graphic novel from DC. So far, they've been really cool tributes to the comic. There have been some pretty interesting twists in old characters, namely Kevin Conroy playing a very old and extremely mean-spirited Bruce Wayne.
Yeah! Good for him, though. He deserves it.
Yeah, it's been really, really fun. And Lou from Phantom Zone has made some hilarious and crude-looking Photoshops to roll out as soon as we get closer to that are all Movie Dumpster affiliated.
I'm really looking forward to that.
They're delightfully just cheap-looking, but hilarious all the same.
Oh, they're funny as hell.
So right up John Hurt's alley.
Yes.
Yes. They're fantastic. I heartily endorse that product.
And then parts 3 and 4 airing on 4 and 5 are airing on one night, so we'll have a wrap up shortly after that. So look forward to that if you guys want to join us for that discussion.
Absolutely. And yeah, and we just want to say thank you guys so much for supporting the show and sticking around, and our new listeners, thanks for hopping in and joining the conversation. Yeah, we appreciate that you guys appreciate us, and thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This isn't a regular episode, so you don't have my all right, so that's it. That's the wrap up for season 2.
I think we need to do it. I think we got to do a riff on it, man.
So that's it. That's Movie Dumpster season 2 finale. I'm Joe Lascola.
I'm Sean O'Rourke.
I'm Connor Scary Helicopter Noises McGraw.
Thanks for visiting the dumpster. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in the Roaring 20s.